just sticking around a little bit too long. There was no counterplay opportunity once 33 had his ulti back up and he popped it. After that RP, they got aggressive here, but I really don't like this play. Dream is just kind of walking up a hill, doesn't pop the spin, so Hanskin just kind of gets to get away for free. You know you're going to get purged off, and you just put the entirety of your team in an awkward position. There was a nice RP here, but Dream just back up entirely. You know that the Faceless Void still has Chrono up, and that was a really nice move by Nico, maybe. It was his hesitation. He went back, forth, wasn't really sure where he wanted to go or what he wanted to do. And Vampire, of course, used his ulti already for that weird setup in mid. And Gambit should be pretty disappointed at that because they had decent control of this game.
It's one of those plays, right, that you just make a small mistake and then you try and rectify it by, you know, sticking around or making the team fight work. But sometimes you just got to trade out an ally for your own mistake and call it quits.
Yeah, and such a good chrono by Nico, baby. Good game sense.
Oh, yeah. Great read by him. Of course, Dream, being another one of those newer players to the scene, has a wealth of pub history, though. He's been bouncing around the top 10 in Europe. See an INTERCEPTOR for 33 this game. It's kind of an interesting choice. We usually only see this against Faceless Voids, but he feels like with all this telegraph damage of the Sonic Wave and the Omni Slash, he's going to get a lot of value missed coils from this.
I don't think he's entirely wrong either as Vampire.
Oh, they do manage to get him with the dust, and Vampire's going to use the Overgrowth to protect himself, but there is unfortunately not a whole lot of trees for him to work with here. Alliance get their 8th kill of the game, tying up the score, though they do hold a bit of a lead in net worth.
Nico, baby, time walks down. He does have Chronosphere, but he's done such a good job of even surpassing in net worth the Empowered Magnus.
Yeah. Do have the Diffuser Blade build from Dream. This is something that the panel very adamantly wanted to be able to see this build from them. And once he has the Manta, it'll be a nice power spike for them. But will it be enough? It's beginning to look like Alliance is just going to get Nico.
You want a Diffusal?
Yeah.
Good? I see. Doesn't that kind of hurt you though because of the SD?
That's a good point. But maybe it's because like
isn't the
probably
Mjolnir,
going
like,
to be using it defensively a lot.
I guess, but like, isn't the Mjolnir really nice against like Wyvern and
Cold Embrace? Yeah, that's true.
Plus, you know that the Void's gonna go BKB later because he's against the tree. I don't know. I kind of thought that would make sense, but I will trust BSJ.
Yeah.
He's just a better
Trust the carry player.
Yeah, exactly. He thought it out.
Gonna bonk Nico, baby. Dream, he's gonna come in, but they don't have the immediate turn. Oh boy, Chronosphere on it too. But there is mass TPs coming in from Alliance. The damage just isn't there yet. They are gonna be able to skewer away. RP being threatened. Shot slow doesn't actually complete it though. This is looking like a fight that maybe Gambit is just gonna leave, sacrificing 2.
But FNG probably gonna go down 2. These heroes are very fast and they are gonna abandon him. It's a 3-on-5. Nico, baby, easily gonna catch up here.
FNG gonna take him the opposite direction of where Dream is headed. He'll be the 3rd kill for Alliance. Gambit, well, GPK tries to do what he can, pressuring that mid tower and such, but this is looking like Alliance are gonna take full control of the map sometime soon. They're getting all their great items, the BKB Duels on the Razor. Our Void is very much online with his Manta and soon to be Mjolnir. So he's gonna have that big attack speed buff that makes him an absolute monster inside the Chronosphere.
All very strong on the side of Alliance, and I think they do want to set up with the next Chrono around that Roche fight. GPK blinking in pretty aggressively, but I don't know how much I like his item build either. Just the Orchid doesn't really pressure any of the 3 cores anymore.
Right.
And it's kind of nice against the 2 supports, but as soon as somebody gets Glimmer Cape, I feel like it sort of nullifies that as well. And as long as 33 plays well with the shield, which, you know, he will do, you bought an item that doesn't help out in pretty much any situation, I feel like.
Winter's Curse, mid-spin onto Dream. Now he's going to be disrupted up, so his own illusion is going to be a battle he has to fight through. He does have the living armor to be able to protect him a bit, and he's not quite slowed down by 33. Will be able to get that forced silence stack as he pops to borrow time. Now the silence is on him. Nico Baby's going to go for the kill. Does manage to get him blinking forward. Does manage to get the train protector as well. The right-hand side saved by the cold embrace. Fada will live through this engagement. So once again, Alliance are able to play a very clean fight. Getting kills and no deaths as FNG slowing down Nico Baby, pretty much praying he's not going to be bashed, but of course it's going to come eventually from Nico Baby. Cleans him up while Shochlo gets run down by Limp as well. 4 dead on the side of Gambit, and Alliance is in full swing right now.
I think he got like 6 bashes in a row there.
Yeah.
Alliance is just a sick team. Like, they're still holding on to the chrono, so they can still go for bigger objectives if they want it. Everyone is so farmed on their team, and you can see Nico Baby on the hunt. He should actually time walk to the left here, and he might get GPK, and he does indeed.
Oh, perfect positioning. Chronosphere right on top of Nico Baby, man. He is just reading everybody in this tournament like a book.
Yeah, it's easy for me as a caster to make that call because I've got full vision, and I can totally tell where the Queen of Pain is going to go, but Nico Baby just has to game sense it and do it in the moment. It just goes to show you, I mean, they have no vision down there. And he's still able to read that move, completely knows what GPK is about to do. I mean, he made that play quite a while back.
And he's doing a lot of damage here, but he is kind of alone. A lot of heroes showing up. 2 supports are not going to go into the high ground, but Dream thought about going for the Omni Slash, but again, because of Hanskin's Winter Wyvern, the Cold Embrace is going to be able to dodge all that damage, and that's exactly what happens. The Omni Slash completely negated. Dream just threw it out just because, and as the spin goes down, so does the Winter's Curse. Once again, countering Dream's every single move. He's going to pop the Manta, trying to get away, but the Disruption's going to be able to catch him, and eventually 33 will get the 4 stacks, allowing them to be able to slow down this Juggernaut to a crawl, especially with the Splinter Blast raining in. Now Shochlo's going to be caught inside of the trees, and he actually skewers the Razor with him, so that means Limp should be able to catch this kill with the Plasma Field. Living Armor, given a little bit of time.
Nico Baby right now, he's just hitting Roche while his team is doing all of this.
Yep.
He's so confident that his team is going to win this fight anyways that he doesn't even bother moving over, and he had plenty of time to do so, but he's so certain that his team's going to win that fight that they're going to get the +1 going for Roche.
And now this is just looking like too much. Soon they're going to have the Butterfly on Nico Baby. They already have the Aegis, the Aghanim Scepter on the Abaddon. This is just looking like it's too much to
We're just
sustain.
getting kills everywhere around the map right now.
Yeah, Vampire's going to get caught like this. He's dusted up. There's a lot of trees to work with, but the Shadow Poison keeps on revealing him, and Fada will single-handedly get the kill.
And you can see why I wanted Dream to go for the Mjolnir. Like, at least you get some damage in that Winter's Curse.
Yeah, he did not get hardly any Omni Slashes this game. He always felt a bit timid about the fact that Cold Embrace was going to counter him.
Every single time he tries to go in. And this is going to be a free tower for Alliance. They now have no way to fight. Shochlo's just so far behind. And this is now the 4th time we've seen the Magnus offlane fail. I think in this main stage alone, teams keep going back for it. Alliance made the adjustment of making it Hanskin's hero.
Nice 2-man Chronosphere. They're going to lead off on Dream, and then go for the backline of Shochlo. And the Winter's Curse to be able to stop Vampire right as he was going for the Overgrowth, too. He might not be able to get that off as the Orchid, as well as the Bash, is going to rain on in. Superior control from Alliance. And indeed, they are dead, all dead, and Gambit struggling to be able to defend their base.
When you hit tier 4 towers like that, by the way, that's the get out of my game move. You're simply doing that because you're telling them, like, we're not going to stop. Please leave our game.
Yeah.
We've lost. There's no further. We think we're so far ahead that 1 set of racks and a tier 4s is the play. Nico Baby just kind of chances them into going for the GG out.
Disruption. Skewered out over to the other side. Are they going to go for the dive? No. Not quite worth it. Might as well finish up these tier 2s and keep the pace of this game rolling. After all, this is just game 1. Alliance really want to crush Gambit's spirit by closing out this game 1 nice and fast.
So far, so good. They have Aegis for forever.
Yeah.
They just finished the Butterfly. Nico Baby's getting some mangoes onto him. So the Diffusal is kind of annoying, I guess.
So now this just comes down to the reverse polarity. That's the only thing that could win a fight for Gambit. Some sort of great 4 or 5-man RP into the Omni Slash with Empower. problem is, even if you do get that 5-man RP, at least one of the members in 33 is going to be able to pop borrowed time. He can then in turn wake up Hanskin with the aphotic shield, who can then in turn cold embrace somebody to be able to save a lot of damage there, or disruption from Vada or what have you. Purged up, Dream has to start slowly making his way backwards. Need to be able to poke at Nico Baby and just force away this Aegis without losing anybody. The Skewer and the RP out onto 3. The borrow time used too early there, but the Winter's Curse counter is going to be able to kill Vampire and stop any inflood of damage to GPK. Oh, he just gets locked down immediately by Nico Baby with that first hit bash. Now looking for another one onto FNG, whose Frost Shield is really annoying Nico Baby right now, but it's just slowing down the inevitable.
We're gonna call it
they are just going to run a Gambit entirely out of this game. A second Chronosphere going down, and that's it. Gambit. They have been thoroughly trounced in 30 minutes, 8-28. Remember, it was 8-8.
It was 8-8.
They got 21 kills in a row on the side of Alliance with no response from Gambit.
Literally 21 kills in a row. And it all starts in that mid-engagement where they decide to try to go on the Wyvern. They bleed 4 heroes, they lose their tower. As a result, they lose all map control. And then Alliance just picked them apart. You could see that Gambit, after they lost that mid tower, they just lost most of the fight in them.
Alliance just have been real monsters when it comes to this 5-man. They seem to be able to out-team fight almost everybody at this tournament.
They're so clean about it. And it really comes down to this 33 Abaddon.
Yeah.
I strongly feel that. He just knows how to play the hero. He knows where he's supposed to be at all times. He protects his towers. He takes towers. This guy's positioning on this hero is unreal, because we've seen other people play this hero and it not look this good.
Yeah.
Don't give this guy Magnus, please. Let him be active on the map.
Yeah. And if you're Gambit, don't let him have Abaddon. 5-0-18 is 33's end score. As the star offlaner certainly struts his stuff, protecting both Nico Baby and Limp. Any suggestions for Gambit moving into game 2?
Be more aware of that mid-fight. Alliance, especially with that kind of lineup, we've seen what they do throughout the season. They're going to take it to you.
Yeah.
You can't make those kinds of aggressive moves if you don't have the best stuns.
Yeah.
Like, Shashlo is always going to get his RP countered. They don't have like these mini stuns or anything like that, so you sort of have to play around that tower and let them come into you.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, both of them, the best example I can make is they're both counter punchers in that regard. You want Alliance to go on you, they mess up the chrono, then you get to go back on them. If it's you pushing into Alliance and you get out of position, then Alliance's lineup will do the same thing. They're gonna wait to bait you into their side of the river. You have to be more patient on that side. And I think they showed Gambit FNG's face for a second, and he looked so frustrated. I think he knew at that moment that they had messed up.
Yeah. One bad team fight is all it takes for Alliance to take over the game. Gambit got to be more careful heading into game 2.
Thank you, Cap and Blitz. We'll come back to them, of course, for game number 2. Nahaz and BSJ alongside me to break down game number 1. Gents, you said before the game, the first 15 minutes are critical. They kind of held out, but then it just fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I said it was critical for Queen of Pain to snowball that game is, I mentioned in the draft, it's really natural for Void to itemize against Tree, and that's a first pick Void, and you're looking at their heroes, he isn't forced to buy a BKB. If you are against Tree, you have to buy a Manta, so it's really only good to pick Tree if he's also forced to buy a BKB, because he's also going to have to buy a Manta, so he's going to have very limited damage output, very little limited farming, accelerating. But he can just go this Manta Mjolnir, and that's like a feels good Voids build. That's efficient. You move around the map fast, you attack fast, you do like everything you want to do as Void, and that's a first pick Void. That's the problem I have with
That's the key, isn't it? You can first pick Void. We know it's a good meta hero, but there's plenty of solutions out there when you've seen it picked first.
Well, and especially when you contrast it with what the Jug was asked to do in this game. I mean, what is Dream supposed to do, okay?
Yeah,
you are
who's
playing Jug
on?
into 5 counters, and really the only thing you have left at the end of the game, Queen of Pain already a hero that if she dies once in the mid game, it just kills her momentum so much. We talk about her as a snowballer, and you have no save, right? You have maybe living armor, you have all stuff that's purged by Shadow Demon. It's just a very, very difficult lineup to play for Gambit. I think FNG wishes he had that draft back.
Yeah, certainly from probably the 4th pick as well. That Treant was being picked into 3 counter. But there's too much going wrong, isn't there, in that draft?
I mean, Shadow Demon's ult actually guarantees a kill on anyone. We talked about it behind the deck. So you get Empower gets removed, Living Armor gets removed, Frost Shield from Lich gets removed. It was just so straightforward, right? If somebody gets purged on the side of Gambit, they're probably going to die. If you go on somebody on the side of Alliance, they're going to get saved by 3 different people. And ease of executions it's something to consider even at this high tier Dota.
I mean, it comes back again to what we were talking about yesterday with Fata being inexperienced, but also being Occam's razor kind of captain. You know, the first thing is probably the right answer, right? And he seems to be able to draft like this all the time.
I also just don't buy into the Fata inexperienced narrative to start with. It's a cool story because this is a guy that is one of I mean, we're on his home soil, man, and he has a chance to win his first 2 lands as a captain. But we're talking about a guy, he's the 6th most wins all time in Pro Dota 2 history, and he's playing with a roster. Bar Nico Baby, all these guys have been there before, man. They understand what it takes to succeed in these environments, and the transition to captain is just as natural as I've ever seen.
Absolutely, he's doing very well so far. 1 up to the good. Let's find out from Purge now at the weather station what he made of game number 1.
Hey guys, let's take a look at the draft and how these played out in some of the fights. Now they started with the Magnus and the Juggernaut, which is obviously a great pairing because Juggernaut's gonna be able to accelerate really quickly. They responded with the Winter Wyvern because it's gonna allow them to save against the Jug. And then they grabbed the Lich to save against Faceless Void, which is pretty nice. And then they paired it with the Treant Protector, another good way to defend towers, which is great and all. But this is how the team fights played out basically. Chronosphere gets countered by the Ice Armor and the Living Armor. They turn around and try to get an easy kill on the Faceless Void with the RP, but he gets saved with a basic skill from Hanskin. That's a level 4 hero countering a very powerful pair of ultimates. They eventually do kill the Void in this case, but that's a really difficult kill. And then Treant Protector, one of the issues with him as a hero is that he does lane very well, but he needs to participate in kills, otherwise he has trouble getting a lot of levels. And you need a lot of levels because you need to max out your Living Armor skill, your 3rd skill, and you don't really get it leveled out until like level 10, level 11, and that's really the mid-game timing. If you waste your ultimate like he did there in that earlier fight with his ultimate, then when the next fight happens, your hero's not inputting much value. Fata using his ultimate on the Juggernaut, a really good counter against Juggernaut. He ends up barely surviving with help from the RP, but now their Treant is over here not doing anything. He can't initiate, he can't fight in the river, he's just not a very good hero. And because they win this fight, and with the great Chronosphere to guarantee the Jug kill, they get to roll over the mid, and they get to abuse their heroes against these 2 heroes. Remember, the Tree and the Lich, supposed to be good at defending towers. They lost too many fights, they get run over, and the game is just over at that point.
Good explanation of where they went wrong via the draft. Thank you very much to Purge. Plenty more coming from him throughout the day. Let's just wrap up on this first game of the opening series of the day in the Has and BSJ. Final thoughts?
I think the offlane contrast is something that has to improve in the second. Shot flow, 0 kills in that match. Actually, 33 was the first to level 7 in this game. He got off to a great start on that Abaddon and just controlled the flow of the game in all those fights.
Yeah, the one position offlaner. I don't know what that's, but he was fantastic.
It's 33, he plays whatever position he wants.
He does. Brent?
Void is broken. If you're not going to hard counter it, don't let him have it.
I love it. See, we try and keep it simple here on the desk as well. Enough from us for now. We're headed to a break. When we come back, though, game number 2 will be with us. The draft will be upon us, and Alliance will get a chance to go to the grand final. We'll see you soon.
We rise up from the dust and claim our throne.
What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
At the highest level of play, there can be no compromises. Gamers demand the highest clock speeds to give them the FPS they need to perform. Rise to the moment. Intel Core i7, the official CPU of ESL 1. Intel, unleash your brilliance.
Multiple witnesses have reported mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is
So this is it. This is where it all started. The great business of DHL.
You remember when we still use these?
We have all come a long way since then.
Hey, Effie, my little buddy. I got a special job for you. And this is only the beginning.
Life is made up by special moments that touch us. A touch of genius, an inspirational touch, and a touch of magic. Some touches are simply unique. Euronics, a human touch in a digital world.
Under peach yellow skies, dreaming big and aiming high. Name the clouds passing by, wishing we run away. All we need is our passports, baby. Leave the rest in our troubled minds. Let us go down in laughter, baby. Trying to figure out what we're after. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. Book a plane, fly away. We will never be the same. And as long as you are mine, come on and run away. We wanna run away. We don't need any reasons, baby. Leave it all for the faded hearts. I don't mind if they call us crazy, 'cause they don't understand what we're after. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. We're no kids no more. I need to feel alive in this dreadful town. I'm running out of time, and as long as you're mine, I wanna run away. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after.
ESL 1 Hamburg is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, Asus Republic of Gamers, Hey Safeguard, Euronics, and Barclaycard Arena.
Welcome back to Hamburg for live coverage of ESL 1 Hamburg. It's Championship Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. The top 3 are guaranteed already, but who wants to finish second of the losers? Certainly not Gambit, so they've got plenty of fight left in them, and they're going to need it all because they find themselves a game down against Alliance. Reminder for you, best of 3, winner goes to the grand final to face TNC in a best of 5. Nahaz and BSJ alongside me, and the draft has already begun, so we'll drop you in there right away. Gents, let's get rid of that void. Let's just ban the void, right?
I mean, I think so.
I'm not convinced. I think TNC showed they could play against it, but TNC's shown that they can play against everything. I think the big thing is you just can't play against Void when it's Void's team that has the save advantage.
Yeah, I was going to say that like both teams had this wombo combo team fight-esque type lineup, and one team had saves, so they could kind of play around the opponents while the other team didn't.
And it's Alliance this time with the mag.
Ooh.
I think the Void issue is obviously going to be big in this draft with Gambit this time. You know, roles reversed, right? Of course. But I really think that's the pick I wanted to see. That is it right there. Shotchlo, who other than FNG, he's really the veteran on this team. He's 0-18-18 in his last games. Alliance, though, there's a reason Gambit banned this first phase in the last draft.
Yeah. Got rid of it last time round. This time round, they decide they're going to get rid of the Abba in the first phase, and instead it gives Alliance the Elk.
Yeah, the heroes like Wyvern and Abba being forced to ban first round this game just open up a lot more heroes.
Would you have banned the Wyvern? Would you not have banned the Elk and left the Wyvern in?
I'm almost surprised they banned the Wyvern just because Alliance was first pick. It almost enables the first pick Void or Mag. The thing is, last game, we talked about both teams having the team fight. It's been role reversal here. Gambit has the saves and like the Guardian Angel from Omni Knight to counter all the physical damage coming out during the RP. And the problem was last game for Gambit, they had this Juggernaut hero as their carry, right? This hero wants the fight to be quick, and he wants to be able to burst people down during that RP. On the other hand, Alchemist, not so much. He's kind of this durable, just long drawn-out fights are kind of fine for him as long as he has enough items. And Omni Knight Void aren't really going to pressure this Alchemist. I've seen Voids tend to struggle against Alch because he's one of those few heroes that in the mid-game gets enough items where you chrono him and he just doesn't die. So I'd like to see the AA ban, I think, is really important here. I was going to talk about either AA, something like Skywrath Mage stands out to me. AA is definitely the best one just because it counters pretty much all of what Alchemist wants to do.
Well, and they banned the Shadow Demons themselves. Gambit does another hero that I value a lot, both in combination with and against the Alchemist. You talk about trying to lock down those kills on him in the mid-game. Okay.
That doesn't kill out.
That doesn't kill out, but it does. It's a block pick because you don't want to give it up against your Void.
And Omni.
Yeah. That's true, yeah.
Rubik's really nice against Omni.
We joke about Rubik being the better Omni Knight.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I just don't see them addressing the problems kind of like last draft. Like last draft, you picked this first pick Void for Alliance, and Gambit never picked heroes that made it hard to play Void. Like, it was very straightforward. You see a guy in front of you, you chrono him, he's going to die because you have the ability to remove their defensive spells with Shadow Demon. This game, Alchemist is really only afraid of getting bursted and ran at in like the early game, like ran at in the early game and then bursted later, and they don't have any of that so far.
This is, are we sure we've got the right teams?
This is just completely reversed.
It just looks like mirror images of the last draft.
I do think this is just a better version of Gambit's draft from last game, though, meaning the Alliance draft. I think Alchemist is much better in these types of games than a hero like Juggernaut.
I mean, I think in this meta overall, Alchemist versus Jug is just not a comparison. This Alchemist hero just looks like complete BS.
That's what I mean, though, right? When you have the same heroes, even though it's one hero difference in this draft,
it's a big one.
It's a big one, right?
I mean, yesterday when we interviewed March, he was very coy about it, wasn't he? He was quite happy to go, Morph Shaker? Yeah, totally broken. And we were like, is the Alchemist? And he was like, I don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
He's a bit coy. And I think that's why.
Yeah, after the major, they'll talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh. I think the Leshrac here would be a decent choice, but I don't know if you want to give up your mid. Give away your mid.
We'll say that the Jakiro got through this time.
They could pick that with the Void. It does do the early tower pushing.
Yeah,
Grimstroke.
They could take now if they want it.
Yeah, you know what? That's a block pick. They're worried about the Lich. They're worried about the Lich Grimstroke.
That is one of the most potent duos for sure, but I'm telling you, man, last game I think to myself as a carry player, I want to play Void in this game. I look at their lineup, I picked it first, I want to play it. In this game, I look at this Alchemist pick and I'm like, I'd be willing to pick this now. Like, this is a nice pick, fifth.
Do we think this mag is a 4?
Based on what Alliance, I agree with Blitz, what he said. Don't give 33 the mag, give him a hero that's able to be active in the game.
So the LC is still available?
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind a Brewmaster again. Wasn't it Alliance that ran the Brewmaster?
That was the big pivot last night from game 1 to game 2 where they swapped over, put the mag on the 4 with Hanskin and put 33 on that Brewmaster, and it just looked so different with him able to dictate the flow of fight.
Yeah, we saw him throwing up the Abaddon of the opponent team in fights, and I think it's similar here with the Omni Knight. If you're able to, you don't necessarily have to pick Brewmaster, but if you're able to pick an offlaner that kind of separates the fight, causes it so that it's not so straightforward to just Guardian Angel as well as Heavenly Grace or Void here.
Well, Brewmaster he's also unique in the offensive AoE purge.
Yeah, the AoE purge.
Does the okay.
I like it.
I don't like that as much, but I do like the fact that it's not an offlane mag.
Again, if you look at how Alliance likes to play, the timing of their 5-man, how they like to control, they want to control as broad an area as possible on the enemy side of the map. And I feel like Beastmaster, between the vision that he brings, that constant lane pressure, I feel like he just plays into their tempo so well.
He will help them get the vision advantage for these fights and able to take the fights that they want. The problem with a hero like Brew is he isn't like a hard lockdown. He isn't a reliable initiation, which is really something they didn't have. Yeah, they have the Magnus, but since they're putting it at the 4, like we talked about, RP is more of a supplementary ability rather than the core part of your team fight. So I still like heroes like Dazzle for Limp in the mid lane. Yeah. Any hero that, none of these heroes actually build teamfight items. Yeah, you usually get like a Vlad's from the Beastmaster, maybe a Solar Crest, but generally speaking, you still want some sort of sustain in your lineup, and since they don't have any built in, I would like to see a teamfight building hero, or at least a frontline assist. Yeah, they do ban the Dazzle.
The Dazzle ban is really smart, especially because it keeps some of these heroes like TA and Ember on the table for you.
Yeah.
Right, that if Alliance were to pick, you'd just be so miserable in that lane.
I mean, just try to kill an Alchemist without the Dazzle. Now try to kill him with the Dazzle. You know?
I still think as Gambit, you have to have OD. You have to. OD is one of the few heroes that I feel like is going to be able to dump enough damage into that Chronosphere to threaten the Alchemist in that mid-game period, and I still think it's a tall ask.
Yeah, it might be too slow. I think Alliance is probably going to go with Death Prophet, the way they've drafted throughout this tournament. They really like to have this trump card of, if we 5-man, we just throw our spells out and we're going to win. Death Prophet, one of the best heroes in the entire game for that. Just too much free damage, and they don't have any burst on the side of Gambit. Yeah, they don't have the best saves necessarily on Alliance, something that's usually paired with Death Prophet, but since you're not really worried about getting bursted full to 0, Death Prophet with the Spirit Siphon, with their ulti going off, I think it's just too good for what Alliance likes to do.
The other hero I guess I could see for, maybe even for either side, is Pugna.
They do ban the Tiny, which pairs well with the Void. It's burst damage.
This is potentially the final game of Gambit's ESL 1. Do they not just bust out whatever they think is completely and utterly broken?
Gambit just hasn't had much in the way of cheese strategies.
I haven't.
Problem.
They have been rather straightforward, even though we've talked about, they go for the
Limp Lina, an absolute signature. And again, it's such a nice counter because I read OD here, and Limp will crush that lane.
Yeah, that is a preemptive block pick for stuff that's already good against what stuff they have. So your goal when you're the first pick team is to prevent the perfect 10th pick.
Do you just go back to TA and try to win the lane against Lina?
I do like TA Void. I think TA is nice because it gives you Roche, but you will have serious issues in the mid game if you don't get that Roche before the Alchemist hits like 2 items, because they have so much they can throw in there. They have the Hawk to scout. Obviously, the Radiance Burn becomes a problem in the mid game. They do need a heavy damage dealer. I think TA fits that well. I wouldn't mind Invoker either. That is one of the suggested picks. I think.
And it's one of GPK's best heroes.
Yeah, the Spirit Vessel natural builder. Usually you go the Quas Wex this patch.
Again, though, I think you have to attack that laning matchup a little bit harder. I think Invoker will lose.
That is the problem, right? That is the problem.
Yep.
Like you said, though, a tall ask. That's what I don't like about these heroes, not really addressing the Alchemist. Now I feel like this 10th pick has to do so much.
Let's do everything.
Yeah, it not only has to be good for your lineup, but it also has to be good against the opponent.
It has to hit towers, it has to threaten Alchemist.
Yeah, that's why I was not a huge... Leshrac stands out to me, even though it's not the best matchup against Lina. It's already obviously there, a hero we talked about.
It does check all the Leshrac does check all the boxes.
Yeah, it does.
And I don't think it loses mid too hard to the Lina. I think it plays well in terms of the strategic aspects. That is not
that is, I don't believe in that last pick.
Yeah, 2-13 in its first 15 games at this event.
It is his most played hero professionally, though, so there is that comfort element to it, but it hasn't been a great meta pick, Brian.
When Alchemist gets BKB, though, like, what do? You can't kill him anymore, and if you can't kill an Alchemist in a straightforward way as the game goes on, I don't see how this hero loses.
Ember's a spread damage hero. Right? There's just nothing on the side of Gambit that's going to eat through this Alex region. Gambit, they just need to roll these lanes.
Yeah.
They are all in on the first 12 minutes of this match.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then have to win it early as well.
Yeah, they just have to shut down the Alchemist timings and then probably proceed to get, I'd say, all the tier 2s, maybe even Roche in the first 15, 20 minutes, and that's...
So you're looking to get this closed out, what, 25, 30 minutes max?
Yeah, you have to be in control, not necessarily close it out, but Alchemist has to be the only hero with any semblance of farm.
It's more about Gambit need to be in control of the game when Alk gets his third item.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it's just over.
Yeah, exactly.
Time to get into game number 2 then, as we fear for the lives of Gambit as far as ESL 1 Hamburg is concerned. Are Alliance on the verge of a grand final? Let's find out.
The beauty of Dota lies in best of 3s and double elimination. It offers you a second chance to be able to reclaim a tournament after losing a series, and at this point, a second chance for GPK to prove that he is the up-and-coming mid laner that is all the star power on Gambit. Another opportunity for him is the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the easiest Ember game, though. We were debating, like, what was the last pick or what it should be. And it's not straightforward at all. Like, I was suggesting some wild stuff.
Yes, you were.
But I don't actually know. That's why I think it was such a good outgame, because you needed something that dealt damage, that doesn't get caught easily, that has a reset mechanic, that's tanky enough to frontline. It just felt like there's so many things missing. And I think part of it is because I don't like their support duo.
Yeah.
Rubik Grimstroke lack in damage real hard. Like, you have some form of control, but Alk doesn't really care if he gets controlled up if you can't actually burst him down at all.
It can become a sick duo when it comes to some team fights, but it's so, like, situational.
Yeah, it's not even like the Link does anything this game is my problem with it. Like, the best thing it can do, and I'm not even kidding here, is the Rubik has to steal Chain Frost, Laguna Blade, or Roar. Like, that's the only way that I think it's good. And you don't want to have to rely on that. Those aren't easy spells to steal. Maybe Roar is, like, okay because Beastmaster doesn't have, like...
Hanskin gonna go for the skewer play to be able to pick and steal away the bounty rune away from Gambit. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're gonna try and go for the kill onto FNG. Wins on both sides here for Alliance potentially. FNG just cannot get away from that damn pour. And now it's gonna slow down Dream a bit too.
And remember what I said about the Beast, or the Magnus. I said I only like it right now as a 4 position.
Yeah.
I do not like it as a 3. And that's what Alliance have decided to go for.
I mean, what do you think about it as a support 4 position, but in the safe lane, trying to protect an Alchemist?
I mean, I actually think this lane is just a wash. It's whatever. Okay. Like, the annoying thing about playing against Alk is unless you can, like, absolutely dumpster his lane, he doesn't really care. Like, mediocre laning phases mean nothing to Alchemists.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of Alchemists lose their, like, mid lane matchup, still come away with a... very well-timed Radiance.
They need to have the absolute sickest laning phase on the side of Gambit to win this game. Like,
And that's where a lot of this lies on GPK, right?
Yeah,
They
GPK
last picked
has to win
hero.
a lane that I don't think he can win.
Yeah.
Or it's not easy to win, I should say. I don't think that it's possible, but I think it's going to be real rough for him.
See what he can do. If he can win his laning phase and then translate that into a very dominant 10, 15-minute window, certainly get them to the kind of start they need to be able to defeat this Alchemist with a slower lineup in Omni Knight and Void as his other two cores.
It's going to be real impressive if they can't get it done, though.
Nice skewer up the cliff, making sure he couldn't get the purification to secure all that CS. And so Nico Baby is now top of the board as a result.
Not getting contested that hard. I figured this would be a pretty free lane for Omni, but Hanskin's doing all the little things right in his stream. They're going to try to go on to 33. He needs some bashes here, though, if he's going to get a kill, like, presumably right now, but doesn't end up getting it. And in fact, cops a lot of damage himself.
Just that Frost Shield. This is why Alliance wanted to put the Lich bottom lane instead. Two melee heroes up against the Inkswell and Faceless Void combos. Just a bit too hard, but with a ranged hero and Frost Shield, it makes it a lot different.
And Nico Baby is going almost completely uncontested in this lane. They've got the top 3 CS, and I mean, I just like Beastmaster, and GPK actually does
GPK. He actually does manage to get the kill on Limp.
That is
die
impressive.
afterwards, which is a nice little reset for him. Fada almost dying here. Dream is going to time walk forward, begging for a bash. But now, after the Fairy Fire, he realizes he's too low, and he has to be running away from Fada, who does have a mango. He can actually heal up, and if he could get close enough, get a Frost Blast.
We
but
might
he's a bit
actually
too
decide
far
to turn
away.
this with the haste rune, but both players salving up, not really worth his time. He's only level 2. And GPK, I mean, he did it. He got the solo kill on Alina. I didn't think it was going to be possible, but
Now he's got the experience advantage, which is going to be massive. If he can keep this up, he'll hit level 6 first and might be able to kill Limp as a result of that. Still, though, always have to wonder about Nico Baby bottom lane. They're going to be able to just run in with an Inkswell. Didn't even use the time walk just yet. FNG is going to be turnaround killed, though, from the 4. That's what Dream's going to focus on, but 33 denies it. Just great awareness by him.
they're getting every little bit here. And they need to start pressuring the safe lane soon. The Omni Knight's doing just fine, but it's not really the Omni's game that we're trying to enable here.
Yeah. And it's not like they're going to have like a super good rotation from their safe lane either. It's going to have to come from the Ember Spirit. A Chronosphere into an Omni Knight. That doesn't really sound like a killing duo.
No, not at all.
As a result of GPK getting that early kill, he's got Bottle on the way. Nice dodge there with a sleight of fist. At the same time, Shantalo is doing very well for himself in that off-lane position, a bit better than 33's Beastmaster, who's 17-3 right now, but Dream has been really pressured. He keeps on having to go for these kills with the Inkswell combo, but it's not actually alleviating the pressure when it comes to CS.
Empire's gonna batter away at this courier, but 55 damage, like
yeah, you're
it's not a thing. And he's gonna see that there are a lot of stacks for Nico Baby, but what they can actually do about it is a different story entirely.
Yeah, it's gonna be up to the Ember Spirit to go up there, get kills, take stacks. There's just a laundry list of things he has to do.
He did get that solo kill. We said he needed to have a good laning phase.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that is eventually you're gonna want to rotate out, and you don't want to lose too much to the Lina.
5-minute bounty runes. Once again, Hanskin playing the sneaky positioning on the enemy side of the map. 33 going to try and contest Dream here for his bounty rune, but Dream does manage to pick it up, and he's going to go for the other side of the river, but to realize he has to turn and fight with the Inkswell explosion onto 33. If they can get a bash here, they might be able to get the kill, but 33 kills off the Grimstroke before anything else, and the time walk away from Dream.
And 33 is going to pop a salve.
Mid lane, Fada, LSA, but jump
get him again.
GPK, he gets him again. All coming down to the fact that, yes, he killed the Lina first earlier. He gets his level 6 earlier. As a result, immediately takes advantage of that. As soon as he hits 6, he challenges Limp.
And Alliance would be in a real nice position. And they still are, but kills like that, and they can swing a lot of momentum. That's now 2 solo kills by the Ember onto the Lina. It's going to make his rotations feel a lot better, and they're going to need him to make this move into the jungle. Don't allow this Alk to just farm this with his cleave.
Bash, Inkswell, that's going to be a lot of magic damage. The Frost Shield, limiting the physical damage, but eventually he should be able to kill him. He himself actually buying a little bit of time. FNG's going to have to hit him with the nuke. Will be able to do so. That cost 33 quite a bit, though.
Feels like he's had like 4 salves.
Yeah, popping so many salves means that, yeah, he's doing okay in CS, but his net worth is going to start dropping.
And now they're going to swap things around as Hanskin's going to leave Eco Baby to his own devices, and he's going to pick up some levels here in the jungle. Wants to take advantage of this. I like this timing. They didn't overstack anything.
Yep.
Going to make it so that the Ember, it's not really worth his time, even if he were to make some sort of aggressive maneuver.
It really is the earliest you could go into the jungle. He clears 1 stack, gets his level 6 as a result of that. And now with Chemical Rage, he can just freely keep clearing through things.
All 3 players spotted out by that Hawk. Nico Baby a little bit low. He's got
on the ward, but Vampire's going to be spotted here, and Limp doesn't have the mana to be able to work with. So Vampire will be able to get out. Treads up for Dream, still needs another level before he can make a rotation. The concerning thing is that the Alchemist is gone from that lane. Bottom, they're going to try and go for 33 here. The Inkswell Explosion does a good amount of work here, but just no stuns for Dream again. And now FNG being slowed down by both Frost Shield as well as the board. 33 may end up dying. Faces Void has to catch up to him, and finally the bash comes in. Dream had been waiting for that one far too long.
Yeah, he had that one charged up. You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It's like 5 hits in a row, didn't find one.
And now he does have Chronosphere, so we'll see how he's going to use it. Maybe they just keep on trying to kill the Beastmaster, but the Alchemist being missing from top lane, Omni Knight just isn't a hero that can really pressure towers super fast like the Abaddon can.
Yeah, what you need to do is skip the wave.
Yep, and there is going to be the Chronosphere indeed. They are just going to try and kill 33's game as much as possible.
How many deaths in a row is that now by 33?
Yeah, that's like, that is 3.
I feel like I just saw that deja vu over and over again.
Yep.
Not gonna run into FNG here, who is almost certainly dead.
There's nothing they can do. Dream really should just get out, because there's still the Laguna Blade up from the Lina.
And they're protecting this triangle area, forcing them back a little bit, and we haven't really seen this Ember Spirit get as aggressive as we wanted him to. He is gonna move into the jungle, but this is a little bit too late.
Yeah.
He wanted to pick up some levels before he did this, and Nico Baby is already migrated to the other side of the map. Just find the best neutral stacks for yourself too. The Mud Golems.
The Mud Golems, yeah.
They are so value for Alchemists.
Ends up being 6 units from 1 camp.
Yeah, I'd say, by the way, like an 11-minute to 12-minute radiance is very good. 13 is whatever, and then 15 on is like incredibly slow. You're throwing your team's game. But it's really going to come down to this next bounty rune set.
Ending that Primal Roar, but the time walk away just halfway through the animation. If he hits the Primal Roar, it's a pretty much guaranteed kill on the Void. He gets away again. So Limp's rotation gonna be a little bit ruined here. If anything, GPK might be able to catch him. The Inkswell, nice read from Limp though, turning around with the LSA. He's gonna dodge the stun. And now GPK's rotation is gonna be a bit ruined.
They gotta be careful about this. But this passive laning phase, even though Omni Knight takes that top tower, you're just creating space for this Alk, who's already at 636 GPM. Hasn't been touched once. His laning phase was fine. He's gonna go to the jungle. It's gonna be okay there too. What it really comes down to now is slowing down the radiance as much as you can. Try to secure bounty runes. You have to be there in the next 15 seconds because Shashlo's pushed up so far at top. Maybe they secure those 2 and they can leave him with only 1.
Yeah.
That'd be the ideal situation at this point, because if you give up like 2 out of 4, now you're in a real rough position.
That's why Hanskin, he's again trying to go to the enemy side of the map to get a bounty rune, but this time around, Gambit, they've learned his tricks. They're going to be able to find a kill in addition to the 3 bounty runes they picked up.
Yeah, so now they're going to grab 3. Like you said, help yourself out a little bit in this game, because Nico Baby, his timing is going to be real nice. Just about has it. Recipe, 400 gold away.
So you're pretty adamant that this timing is just too slow from Gambit? They're playing it a little bit too slow.
I thought you were about to say
early pick Alchemist, right?
I thought you were about to say, like, is it too slow of a radiance timing? I was like, no, that's a phenomenal radiance timing.
Yeah, this is going to be a fantastic timing for him. But I mean, this is an Alchemist picked up in the first phase. Like, you would think Gambit would have had, you know, a better plan.
Well, the problem with their lineup is, like, they have a lot of poke damage.
Yeah.
Or like damage that takes like over time for a fight for it to pay off.
Yeah.
That's where Alk is like the strongest, because he doesn't really care about your poking.
Smoke's gonna break, and they're not quite sure where it's gonna be. Now they ping it, yep, down in the trees, but Limp has already left that area. But fortunately, there's GPK to the rescue. They're gonna be able to get the Chronosphere, a little bit delayed there as the trees blocking out things. Well, should be able to ensure the kill. Gambit is GPK.
This is the one bright spot for them, though.
Yeah.
How much GPK has abused Limp this game.
It certainly has. And this is kind of what we want to see them, right?
Hey,
So
you're
they're
just
taking some
making-
early towers.
You're making Nico Baby's job a little bit harder by putting yourself in this position, because now they've lost mid tower. They're getting some semblance of map control, and it only takes 2 or 3 rotations into the Alk's triangle to slow him down quite a bit. He's not unkillable at this point. They need a little bit more out of him before he gets to that point. And it's not even like Nico Baby really wants to fight in this position.
Mass rotations. They're going to lead off with the LSA from Vampire. They will be able to get that kill. Meanwhile, the Primal Roar doesn't do a damn thing to GPK.
Yeah, Nico Baby's
ORP
just
out
out.
from Hanskin. Nico Baby says, my time is better spent farming while my supports are chased around and eventually killed by GPK, who now has a killing spree.
Yeah, he's had a very good game for himself, but he's almost being doubled up by this Alk. If it wasn't for GPK's heroics in mid lane, I would say that this game was all but wrapped up.
Yeah.
We're going to see Alliance in 2 straight LAN finals.
As a result, GPK is getting very big, and now Dream gets really, really lucky. He can maybe go for the kill on Lem. First hit bash isn't good enough. He needed a second hit too. It does seem like Gambit playing just a bit slower. Maybe they think they're confident that Faceless Void, they'll be able to survive that really hurtful mid-game window that an Alchemist reaches. We'll have to see. Plenty of teams have tried, many have failed. Can Gambit be the ones to make the difference? How's 33's farm doing? Straight Vlads, no boots. I've been seeing this from 33. He really likes the early Vlads a lot.
That's such a good item for his Alk in this game.
Yeah.
It's not even like he needs... I don't even think the pipe is that
The
important for
RP
him.
on GPK.
He
Activates
kill.
the immediately. The Primal Roar stolen by Vampire, but there is going to be that Frost Shield now. The Primal Roar turned around on GPK. And the RP not quite being laid out until the Sleight of Fist is gone. He does have the Chronosphere though, and they just don't have the damage anymore. They're going to be able to lock down the 2 in the back line. GPK out of mana, has another Sleight of Fist, trying to dodge some damage. Purification comes out. He's going to be saved. The Inkswell stun actually stopping the skewer at the same time that GPK is run down. Now the Laguna Blade onto FNG as well. They turn around. The double Laguna Blade out from Vampire. Looks sick with a Fade Bolt, but it just wasn't enough damage to get either kill, and Dream had already backed himself up. A 2-for-3 exchange with the Alchemist farming away.
Vampire was insane there, by the way.
Yeah.
He has stolen Roar, Laguna Blade in that one fight alone, and they still don't have enough damage to win that fight. That tells you how deficient this lineup is.
Yeah, we're gonna see that one again. Their
Maybe if they had waited for the... But there was nobody else nearby.
Yeah. I mean, it looks good at this point where so many stuns were being used on GPK and he still lives through it all. But then he just ends up running out of mana so quickly. And while they get that one kill on Hanskin at top, GPK gets run down. The last bit of magic damage is what's required to get that kill. Back into the game we go, though. GPK gonna get his vengeance against Limp, unless Vada can slow him down with a Sinister Gaze. He's still trying to get him with a Sleight of Fist, but Limp, he does indeed limp away. But one more Slight to skewer back. That's gonna be the distance he needs. Hanskin says, take me, not him. And they will take him indeed. Hanskin falls, but at least Limp gets away.
Meanwhile, at bottom lane, the true threat of this game, Big Boss himself on this Alchemist.
Can they get 3 bounty runes again for Gambit? It's looking like it. Nico Baby, though, with almost having the Manta.
Yeah, I feel like I saw this game, the TNC one, yesterday against Gambit, where Gambit just struggled to ever bring this hero down.
Do you feel like Gambit has made any adjustments since then?
In their lineup, no, but in their play itself, yeah. I mean, I think they're doing the right things. They're taking over the jungle. They're trying to make the map smaller and smaller. I mean, look at their ward vision alone. They place so much vision into the triangle, which is not easy to do, and oftentimes it's going to get dewarded, but you're doing everything you can to slow down this Alchemist. But the problem with playing against Alk is he's going to get his. Like, no matter what, Alk will get big. And Nico Baby's adjusting to the fact that he's assuming they have ward vision, and he's just taking over Gambit's jungle. There will always be somewhere for Alk to farm as long as Alliance are grouped up ready to defend and they play as 4. So what Gambit thinks is, we're shrinking the map, but in reality, you're shrinking the map for like 3 heroes, but Nico Baby will just farm your jungle instead, and he's going to be just fine doing that.
Yeah.
He's still incredibly far ahead of anybody else in the game. He's almost double the net worth of your own carry. And they need to take some fights like right now if they're gonna get anything done.
Becoming a little bit too long of a stalemate. GPK is going to pull the trigger with the Inkswell, gets the stun onto 33. 1 pick off. Now Dream thinking about going for more. He's getting for the Chronosphere. Nico Baby, thanks to the ward that they had laid out to the triangle, just as you were talking about, they're going to try and threaten Nico Baby here with the Omni Knight, giving them extra bit of safe, but they're running out of damage. Now the double faithful though comes in. Vampire gets the kill on Nico Baby, and Gambit can pursue the tier 2 tower push.
And their aggressive ward vision allows them to get that fight. Nico Baby deciding to try to fight despite the fact that his Beastmaster had been picked off. That's the first mistake I've seen him make in maybe these 2 games total.
Yeah. He also just seemed to make the, like, he had no idea that they were just going to time walk up there and Chronosphere him. Figured they can't have vision up here in the triangle.
That is going to get dewarded for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Alliance will know, but it pays off because they're getting some map control out of it. And now it's starting to hurt them quite a bit that this Ember's had such a good start.
Yeah.
And this Lina hasn't.
Nico Baby getting caught like this also turns into just extra kills. In fact, I think they're a little lucky that Limp got out alive. GPK. Not sure if Searing Chains was still on cooldown or if he missed it, but that could have been 2 more kills on top of the out just because he gets caught. ENTERCEPTOR lets Limp get away.
GPK's being a boss right now. He's just leading fight after fight. You saw that they lost the fight. They immediately go in anyways.
Right now, Limp's gonna try and get the 2-man stun, and he does. Looking for the blow up on the Rubik, almost gets him, but the Purification comes in time, and now the Laguna Blade's been stolen. But Vampire, oh, nice. They do manage to quickly dispel off that stun. Vampire's ready to turn in a second here, but Nico Baby's looking to just run down this support and another Purification. Helping him out. Chemical Rage, GPK is into the back lines, just chasing away the rest of Alliance heroes before jumping to the triangle.
They've got to be patient, Alliance. Nico Baby will carry this game. You just don't want to have to bring them into these engagements so early on. Like, they were doing such a good job of creating space for him, but the decision to bring him back into these fights, I feel like, is a bad one.
It's like when we were talking about the Wraith Kings and Lifestealers, the Midas Radiance, that's not your timing. It's the item after that. Same goes with the Manta Radiance on Alk. You're not actually that tanky. You need 1 more item before
you saw Armel yesterday. He did not fight before he had heart.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of the position that you want to put Gambit in, where you get this heart. Gambit can never burst you down. You've got this Frost Armor for him too, so he doesn't really need that armor item. And suddenly he's real strong. But as a result of him getting forced back into his own jungle, he might even just go down.
Kill. They should be able to. Nico Baby, the RP coming out. No! He doesn't actually use it there because Nico Baby's already dead. Now they're going to be able to get the Chronosphere on the right-hand side. Limp is in trouble. GPK is going to jump in to make sure that mid laner of Alliance is dead. And with the 2 cores dead and a support down as well, they can immediately go high ground.
I think Alliance, they're counting their chickens before they hatch. I think they realize, like, this is a very good out game. You don't really have to do too much, but feels like they're just getting cocky. They're making plays, thinking like, oh, well, the game will eventually be over. And Nico Baby was doing such a good job of avoiding his own jungle, but credit to Gambit for their aggressive warding. This is really what makes the difference.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just the play, it's Dream gets that Chronosphere off because he sees vision on the map. And they're going to take this Rax because they have vision in the enemy jungle. Like, they're getting out-warded right now, and Alliance haven't found any of those wards. Those 2 wards that spotted him coming into the shrine in the first place are still up. The fact that the left one by the neutral camp is still alive is insane to me.
Yeah, that's a little bit egregious, but they just haven't been given any window of time. Finally, Alliance will punish Gambit for their aggressive positioning, catching 2 as Gambit tried to split up across the map to pick up bounty runes. Instead, Nico Baby's able to find 2.
Yeah, Nico Baby's probably begging his team, please, slow down this game. Everything was fine 2 minutes ago.
Yep. Game has taken a sharp turn since then. It's now 20 minutes in, a 4,000 net worth lead for Gambit, who are against an Alchemist lineup. They've taken the mid tower as well as the ranged barracks and can take shrines at their leisure as well, because they're probably still stronger in team fights.
Yeah, and what I really didn't like about that play when he got caught in the jungle is, where are his supports?
Yeah.
The only way that you farm into your own jungle there when you've lost your mid tier 1 and your tier 2 and the top tier 1 and tier 2, you have to be there. You have to be able to protect them. And if you're not, then you shouldn't be there. Go to the triangle area where you've got a shrine instead.
Yeah. Smoke up from Alliance. They're trying to get aggressive, trying to go for pickoffs. Limp. Not getting the Yules after that time walk there.
Actually, I now.
You know, I feel that. You know you're gonna get caught anyway. Just run into them.
Yeah, but Roshan might be a thing now too. And indeed it is.
Yep.
By losing that that Lich, one of two things happens. Either you show that you have vision, and Lich buys back, and you all in for this Roche fight, which is still scary. They've got Chrono in 1 second. They got more than enough damage too.
Oh, certainly.
And Alliance don't want to take this fight because again, they're Alp. He wants a little bit more time for this.
Unstable concoction already used. It may not be up in time. 5 seconds before Roshan falls. He does have the blink dagger. He can make a big splash here with 1 initiation. They do manage to find Limp though. The silence laid out onto him. Now the Chronosphere with Nico Baby having the unstable concoction already popped. He's gonna stun himself with the Ink Swallow to follow it up. It is just chain stun Nico Baby. The Sinister Gaze buying him a little bit more time with God more, but it's not enough. The damage comes in. Now the purification out onto Dream to keep him healthy as they just pick off Alliance one after another. 33 is gonna be the 3rd kill. Looks like Hanskin, they know where he's at.
And the Roshan.
He's gonna try and chase him down with the arcane.
Hanskin's just gonna farm. He's like, I'm dead.
Yep,
I know you guys are catching up to me.
He's gonna try and push out the lanes as best he can, but an ultra kill for GPK. The star mid laner of Gambit. We structured this story for game 2 about being about his play. We said for game 1, he needed to be able to carry more than his share.
He needs to do the impossible.
He did it in game 2.
I actually can't believe how well he's playing right now. He has gone completely off. He has ruined Limp's game. Limp's decision to go for the Yule Scepter there. You're tipping off that you know that you see them. They've got gap close, and you've used your only defensive ability. There's no save on your team. Once you use that Yule's, the Ember Spirit feels perfectly fine chasing after you. The cores are just not coordinated this game on Alliance. I feel like they rushed this game a little bit too much.
Nico Baby taking so much damage from that Mjolnir already. Dream, oh, they do manage to hit that LSA, and now Dream's gonna be able to maybe slow down somebody with Inkswell just out of range to be able to go for Limp, so instead he hits 33, who does have a buyback. He's gonna use it immediately. Dream, still man fighting against Nico Baby. He's got a purification coming in. Nico Baby's not gonna win this man fight, and it's still against an Aegis. That's why the Skewer comes in, tries to take the RP, but GPK jumps to the back line, not quite enough to get the kill onto Nico Baby. GPK instead tries to go for Limp, but he's gonna Yule's up, LSA, dodge with the Sleight of Fist, while Dream does manage to finish off Bada. Go back to the buildings, reset for GPK.
Now they don't have the ulti on the Alk, so he's got to be a little bit careful.
They just got to give this lane up, I think. No RP.
Take out the Aegis, but I don't think they can take this fight 4-on-5. And Limp had to use the buyback too, as did 33. So any sort of diebacks, real worrisome for Alliance right now.
This is looking like Alliance is going to have one last shot being able to stall out this game. But a double chains? Vampire. Thought about it because he does have the LSA, but now they're going to try and retreat without losing anybody, covering each other with 4 staffs and slows.
The Shrine being taken out. Dream doesn't have the Aegis, so maybe they want to just wait a little bit. They do have a Manta now on him. He's going to push out this bottom lane. The rest of his team looking to connect. They want to apply the pressure to Alliance. They smell blood right now.
Yeah, they certainly do. 28-11, a 13,000 net worth lead against an Alchemist. All they have to do is just march down lanes as long as they don't get caught anywhere.
And this game
should be easy.
For Alliance has to be so disappointing. You got an Alk with Cleave. And he's not that much more farm than everybody else. Like 6,000 gold at this point when the 3 cores on Gambit are so far ahead is actually unreal. Like look how far down the next Alliance hero is. It's Limp, barely has anything as the corner
just
they
a
walk into.
2-man Chronosphere, that's gonna be 33, almost dead immediately, and now Nico Baby in trouble. He does have the Frost Shield, that'll slow down some of the damage, but it's just not looking like it. They have so much magic damage on top of that.
Empire stole the Chain Frost.
Bounces around a little bit, but they actually see Hanskin from the cliff area that they were at. He throws out the stolen Chain Frost from Excess Vampire to finish the kill.
Vampire's so good.
He's so good.
Stolen Lina, stun into that. Limp is gonna pop the Yules.
Let's just make it a full team-wide Piers. GPK shows up to collect Limp's life. Another Sleight of Fist. Wicked sick for him.
11, 2, and 10. This guy, they're gonna call it.
That's it for Alliance. An even series now as Gambit managed to win game 2. Our panel. I think Alan said he could be the next no one. GPK certainly turned up big in clutch for Gambit, as they certainly needed it against that draft in game 2.
Admit the fact that he gets 2 different solo kills onto Limp, he takes his tower. Oh my lord, he overperformed on this hero.
So important he gets that first one. He gets the kill before Limp does. He gets the experience, therefore he gets his level 6 faster. He kills Limp again, and it all just snowballs from there. It's amazing how one player's performance can do a lot, but Gambit as a whole playing quite well in that second game.
Yeah, most alks can carry that game, but if your team is doing that bad and they're just throwing away hero after hero, they never got D-wards into their triangle. They never got D-wards into their own jungle. That one ward by that medium camp that was blocked for like 6 minutes, like you said, that was egregious. The fact that that was just left there and they didn't really think about it. There were just so many opportunities where I feel like Alliance were just being a little bit sloppier than normal, because I think they just thought the game, like, we're good. Everything's fine. Nico Baby, look how far ahead he is. But you need to give him a little bit more time than that. Just 3 minutes of free farm alone would have changed that game.
Gambit lost the last time they matched up against the Alchemist, but they made the adjustments in this game. What can they do going into game 3?
Thanks, James. Yes, one of the many questions we'll ask our panel. We've got Nahaz and BSJ to talk to you about game number 2, a game in which both of them predicted that Gambit had to do very good things in the first 15 minutes and win it by 25. And who knew that these guys were actually clairvoyants? That was, I mean, perfect breakdown, wasn't it, from the draft? Got to do well in 15, got to finish by 25, job done.
Yeah, we gave them a very specific win condition. I didn't really believe they could pull it off, but I mean, you talk about all these theory crafting during the drafting phase. You're like, this is what's going to happen in the game. This is what we think the game's going to look like. And then your mid just dies twice solo to the opponent. And whenever you have an Alchemist lineup, it's always going to be him on the top of the net worth. And the biggest concern you have to look at when you're seeing if the team's winning or not, because it's a little skewing on the net worth, right? It's always about where the 2 and the 3 position players are on the Alchemist team. And like, when you're against Void, you're just going to get chronoed and die. I didn't like the Manta purchase because you're still died to Rubik Grim and you're the only hero with farm on your team. It's just too easy to focus him at that point. Really well played by Gambit. Props to GPK.
Yeah, I mean, GPK, that's the one. We called it and we said it's been such a difficult hero to do well on at this tournament. I think it was like 2 and 14, I think, before. He has played it an awful lot. It's his most played pro hero as well, and he showed us exactly why he's good on it.
He won the game. I don't think you can overstate the impact of 2 solo kills onto the Limp Lina, and he just translated that into so much map pressure. We talk a lot about the Alk and the Void because they've been picked off in this tournament, but the other core matchups went so decidedly in favor of Gambit. The mid lane we've talked about, but also Shotchlow, 24 minutes in, he was doubling up 33's net worth on his Beastmaster. That's a hero 33 farms so well with. This is when, yes, Alchemist is your win condition, but your other cores are just not even in the game.
Well, you weren't convinced, were you, when we left this area at the end of the draft? You were pretty sure this was going to be a 2-0.
I had written this off. I had flat out, we talked about the win condition. I feel good about that, but I felt how much did Gambit need to do in that early game to have enough control? Because if you make one mistake in that draft against Alchemist once he has 3 items, and I think you lose the game, but they're just so far ahead at that point, and Gambit they played clinical Dota.
All right, let's check in with Purge and find out what he had to say about game number 2.
Hey guys, it was a little bit hard for Alliance to win this game due to their draft. Put them a little bit far behind in some ways. We've got a Magnus support, very difficult to get gank rotations, especially pre-6. They've got a Lich who max Frost Armor, so very low damage output before he hits 6. Lina had a rough time, and the other hero's a Beastmaster, so it's very reliant in some ways on sitting back and getting farm for a bit. They do a timing here at the 11-minute mark with Radiant's finish. They're going to kill GPK in the safe lane. They roar, they get ready to RP. Then they realize that over on the side, their Lich gets caught, so that's more damage potential, more disable potential, and if they commit to a fight, they're not going to be able to fight long enough probably to win. And the cool thing about the Gambit lineup is the Grimstroke just makes Ember Spirit such a better hero, which further made better the fact that he got those 2 solo kills. And then about the 13-minute mark, great vision, laying the foundation for this on Gambit. They end up messing with their opponents in the enemy jungle, and just look at the impact of Alk in this fight. Obviously, a stolen Aurora is a huge deal, but disable, into disable, into disable. Effectively, all he's doing is Radiance burning this entire fight, which really wasn't that big of an impact. They went about even in this fight. for both teams, so it wasn't really that great for Alliance. And then if we pause for a sec, take a look at the mini-map at this stage of the game. Everything on the enemy jungle is awarded. They've got almost all their towers remaining. If they control this area and keep the creep wave up, this tower going away doesn't even matter. They basically have full map control. And then they just kept putting on the pressure, spotting enemies, going for fights, and the only item progression he's made at this point is the Manta style, which offers basically just 10 stats. It's not very effective at this point in the game when he just needs to stop the magic damage from coming. That's coming from Rubik and Grimstroke. Way more impact than the Magnus Lich. So very good play by Gambit, but also solid draft to push a good timing against the Alchemist.
Plenty of pressure on Alliance right now. After a fantastic game one, they've fallen victim to Gambit in game two, which means, ladies and gentlemen, we need a game three, which is coming up after the break. First, though, let's check in with Alliance with their pre-match thoughts.
Our performance is pretty good, like in the playoffs. Like I'm also in groups, I'm very satisfied. You know, like we're still a new team. Like a lot of the other teams we're playing have had their core together for much longer than us. So like we're still trying to find like what we're like comfortable with, what we like, you know, what directions we want to go in the game. So like sometimes we slip a bit, and that's when our performance doesn't look as good. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how we're doing. We have good communication, good leadership. I think we have a good read about the patch, actually. So yeah, I mean, some things we can work on is like just understanding each other better with the roles when we have to make, you know, adapt play styles. You know, we kind of have a set way of playing right now, so we could be a bit more flexible in the future, perhaps. Yeah. I think Gambit's a really interesting team. They have some cool strats, and it's a team that we scrimmed a lot against before the major qualifiers. We rate them very highly. I think it's safe to say they're the best in CIS right now. So it'll be fun. Like we haven't played them for like a few weeks now, but I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
We rise up from the dust and claim our throne.
At the highest level of play, there can be no compromises. Gamers demand the highest clock speeds to give them the FPS they need to perform. Rise to the moment. Intel Core i7, the official CPU of ESL 1.
Intel. Unleash your brilliance.
Mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is
It's game fuel. It's domination in a can. Oh, tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
ESL 1 Hamburg is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, Aces Republic of Gamers, Hey Safeguard, Euronics, and Barclaycard Arena.
When we practice and play pubs, we are playing like not against strongest players and not against strongest teams. And you have some kind of feeling of enemy timings, of how enemy will play and so on. But when you come to the tournament, you see completely different timings. Is this what we need right now to get this feeling? No, I mean, everyone is growing because if you have a fun game, you have a fun game and everyone will grow. I feel like crowd here is super happy because like even say lower bracket matches, it was super amazing. 3 matches, Tron, trades and blah blah blah. So I'm sure people are enjoying Dota and I hope they enjoy Dota. I mean, obviously we want to go grand finals and have some more Dota. This is what we care about.
Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3 of the lower bracket final. Alliance versus Gambit. We're all tied up at 1-1, and we'll get you right into the draft because it has begun. These guys have waited for no man or woman here inside the Barclaycard Arena. They are already into the draft. We've already had 3 picks as well, and it's exactly what we had in game number 2 so far as well, Alan.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think Alliance wants the back half of that draft back. I think that's what's going on because
okay.
I think they are.
You don't think this is just adjustments along the way?
I think honestly, I think Mag and Alk are going to win you a lot of Dota games.
Okay.
I think the part of the issue, 33 had 284 GPM at the end of that game. That's his 5th lowest out of 98 games this patch. He was really shut down. And I think you put him on something other than a Beastmaster where he's comfortable in lane and he can impact that game. Things look very, very different, even with the 2 solo kills mid.
Yeah, this isn't just like you and I trying to save our own skin. I will stick by that Alliance should have won that last game.
Yeah.
I am perfectly content with Alliance doing exactly what they did in the draft, despite the fact that they lost the last one.
But does that not mean that Gambit want to do the same thing because they think they did everything right?
I think it goes both ways.
Yeah.
We were talking about it between games here. One of the best things you can do as a captain or have on your team is a mid laner that you just say, hey man, what are you going to carry the game with? Like, give us your hero. And to us, it didn't really make much sense. On paper, Ember Spirit hasn't been very successful. It's not like the perfect Ember Spirit game, but I think Gambit's very confident. We're just doing exactly what they did last game and seeing if it works again.
I'm not saying it is happening, but how next level mind game would it be if Alliance lost the 2nd game on purpose so they could get the same draft and beat them with it in the 3rd?
Wow, let me find my tinfoil hat here under the desk. No, I think, honestly, you're going to have a better off-lane pick. I really do believe that. And I think maybe if you had to do it over again, that you go Dazzle mid and place the Lina.
Okay. Yeah, and
because that would have.
And the Legion Commander you would want back in? Or?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay. Give me 33 Legion. I think you win that game.
They got the Dazzle banned out last game, so I'd look to see them pick it 4th. Like last game, the absolute last ban from Gambit.
Did.
So they picked the Beastmaster, and then they win the Lina last round. I think enabling the Alk's the key. Like
it's the same bans as well for Alliance.
Yeah, it's. Oh, there's the. Okay, so it's almost.
Oh yeah, next level.
They're seeing what we're seeing, right? They're like, oh, Alliance realizes what happened last game. They're gonna go for the Dazzle. That's hilarious. The stories that can be told over the course of just a best of 3 in the drafts alone is always quite hilarious.
We talk about metas within best of 5s, but we do get metas in best of 3s.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Same 3 heroes again. I mean, like, obviously we've already commented so far, but Rubik was their 3rd pick last game on Gambit.
And this would have been the Lich last game for Alliance.
So do they go Jakiro this time round?
Jakiro into Rubik is
rough.
rough.
It's rough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not the line.
Those the pub numbers really are telling because
well, it's a better Jakiro, basically.
Yes. Yeah. 0 second ice pass.
Yeah.
I don't think you go Lich, but I'm
no,
struggling to see.
Undying got banned.
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. Oh, yeah.
Echo Slammer Jam. Is that your brother?
Yes.
I always wondered.
That's not the promo. That's not going to get you that sick discount, man.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. No 25% off there. I mean, you can tell we're all struggling to see what Alliance should pick here. They're spending a lot of time, most likely going to be their 5 position. They want to leave the mag flex pick at least until 4th.
Come on, you could ogre.
Yeah, I was going to say ogre.
Oh, okay, I'm fine with ogre.
I think they banned it out second phase last time, right?
Yeah, you know what, ogre.
I
should have said it. I said I wanted to save, and okay, so they're doing the exact same thing on Gambit.
It's like, yeah, we won last game. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we won in 25 minutes. Come at me, bro.
I should have the confidence. I couldn't think of any other saves left in the pool. Shadow Demon, Wyvern already being banned out in the 5 position. I think if this game you have a save for the Alchemist, since you're all in on this hero. Last time they were all in the previous series, they had what, like 4 heals? Yeah. Like 3 saves, and that made it so Alk first pick was much more dangerous. Last game they could just afford
there
focus that out.
Is, baby. That is the offlaner that's going to tip the scales in this game. The 33 Night Stalker, he single-handedly brought this hero back into the meta last season as an offlaner. This tournament, we've seen it more as a safe laner in the hands of Gabby, but that is the kind of hero that he's going to be able to get into the middle of that Gambit Esports lineup and put pressure. That you go ahead and pick Ember again. That's what that Night Stalker pick says.
My concern for Alliance is the 10 to 15 minute mark when Night Stalker ult is on cooldown. I don't know what you do. All your heroes kind of just do nothing. I will say that is my one concern, right? I'm trying to be devil's advocate here. I am in favor of Alliance's adjustment so far in this draft, but this is like last game where you have this Beastmaster type hero that's feast or famine. Like if this Night Stalker gets shut down early, I think you're going to see a rinse and repeat where he's not a hero that's useful with nothing. He does need a few items to come online. You're most likely going to see like the Vlads, maybe like the Solar Crest, all these enabling Alk items.
Is it harder to shut him down in the first 15?
It's hard to shut him down past the 5 minute mark, but if you can like neuter him in like the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game, then it just gets out of hand against a hero like Void. So the problem that I'm saying here is that they don't have a recovery mechanism. They don't like take towers. They don't de-push very well on Alliance. So they're leaving themselves vulnerable. So I'm keeping people's attention to the fact that if that happens, they could have a repeat of the first game, or the second game.
Once again, we're looking at that mid matchup in the last 2 picks here.
That's what it's boiled down to every game of this series so far. Most notably, Gambit, I believe, has that absolute last pick all 3 games. And we talked about the importance of that going into this series, and Gambit clearly on the same page. They, carry me off laner, or mid laner, excuse me. That's usually my approach as well.
I think it's just the lane that's so much more vulnerable to tipping the balance of the game. We talk about early kills not mattering, but those mid lane kills, the exception to that rule. I like the OD ban. Just anytime that you're second to last pick, anytime you're 9th pick overall, that OD is a hero that you're scared of being countered by the Pugner or Sniper, but you don't want them to have.
I like Tiny here.
I like it's limp, man.
Just give me, limp Tiny. It's a safe pick. What I mean is, it's not going to have what happened to Lina last game happen. Maybe it doesn't win its lane, but it's not going to have that happen. And I think they need a playmaker in the early to mid game that's not the Night Stalker. Like, okay, that is a playmaker that's aggressive, but it is vulnerable to a lane counter again. I know Gyro does have a few pretty poor matchups. His like early laning stage before like level 3, 4-ish, very weak base damage.
Again, that's just it's a limp. I love it. It's a limp special. And again, when you think about Gyro's magic damage output, his magic damage output comes online at exactly the time that Alliance likes to start 5-man, starts forcing these engagements. He's also here. It feels really greedy, but it's less so the way they play it. But
exact 5 heroes from game 2.
And that's the problem. Is Gyro any better in lane against the Ember than the Lina? Because I think a lot of people would have Lina rated higher against Ember than Gyro.
They do have the Oracle for the Flame Guard this game, so in the mid game it's not nearly as powerful. But I have to believe Alliance is better than losing to the exact same 5 heroes twice in a row, and I think they've made the proper adjustments. So I don't want it to work for Gambit, but I honestly would be majorly impressed if it does.
When was the last time we had a team playing a lower bracket final in the third game of this and played exactly the same draft. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I think
it's ballsy, isn't it?
It's ballsy, but I think the X factor is the 33 Night Stalker. He's the one that I think can short circuit this Gambit lineup if he can get into the middle. But if Gambit can shut him down early, get through those first couple night times, you could see history repeat.
All right, time to get into our third and final game of the lower bracket. This one's for all the marbles. Who goes to the grand final? Let's find out.
Well, you don't get any bigger balls than this. FNG, Game 3, elimination on the line, or grand finals on the line. And he says, I'm going to pick the exact same lineup. Deal with it.
Yeah, that was a complete deja vu. I'm not really sure. I guess he thought that, he was like, this is literally the perfect lineup.
I looked at it, I was like, maybe Omni Knight Void, maybe they think it's an unbeatable opening. And then I looked at the supports and I was like, maybe they just think Rubik Grimstroke is unbeatable. And then they last picked Ember Spirit, and maybe they think this entire lineup is just good to go no matter what.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how it works, though. What do you think of Alliance's adjustments?
I mean, I actually thought their draft, I still stand to the fact that like their draft was fine last game. Talking to most people backstage in BSJ, like we also thought that the draft was still pretty straightforward.
Okay.
But, you know, sometimes it doesn't work like that. People can get outplayed pretty hard, and Alliance obviously overthought their strength in the previous game, but this time around, I mean, I'm not really sure. Like I guess the Oracle is a lot nicer. Like that's a save.
Yeah.
You have instead of, what did they have as their support last game? Was it Lich? A hard save instead of a Lich.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's better against the mid Ember too, since you can dispel the Flame Guard.
Yeah, better against the Ember, better with the Alchemist because he has that high amount of regen. You don't even have to heal him necessarily with False Promise doubling the disable or doubling the regen. He's just usually getting heal up to full no matter what. And again, Gambit don't have a ton of burst either, so Oracle works in that favor. The Gyrocopter is going to be a big difference here for Limp as we go for the Bounty Runes. Alliance, though.
They're going to take 3.
They're going to take 3. Great start. Do you think the Gyrocopter, Nahas was talking about the fact that he felt like Lina was better against Ember Spirit than Gyrocopter. What do you think this mid difference is going to be?
I think, have I seen this matchup before? I think I've seen actually Koikva versus Limp practice it.
Yeah.
And it's okay, but I think the Ember has a fine time in it eventually.
Yeah.
But this time around, I need Limp to at least go even in this lane. Like, him getting crushed by GPK made that game, I feel, really hard.
Wouldn't be the first time that Limp, you know, we started out this tournament talking about how good he was as a laner, but then he proceeded to lose to Armel. Now he's lost to GPK. He's got to redeem himself.
And he did win the first matchup.
Yep.
He fought versus Razor, so the skill is definitely there. You just need it in practice right now.
Once again, we're going to have this Omni Knight trying to pressure the Alchemist, but I just don't think he's going to be able to do a whole lot. Hanskin, he'll be trying to pull constantly, which Vampire's going to protect as much as possible. And so, as a result, with both supports out of the lane most of the time, Nico Baby just gets a one-on-one. In which case, he's going to be CSing a lot. Night Stalker, I mean, they did a good job of pressuring Dream last time. Even if the Beastmaster did die a lot later on towards the laning phase, Dream was very low on CS as a result of that. Do you think the Night Stalker will fare a little bit better than the Beast?
I mean, maybe. In this lane, I think he should be fine, right? It's kind of hard for him to die. Like, the only time I ever see 33 die is when they try to go for these, like, trade kills.
Yeah.
Remember when he played Abaddon versus that Night Stalker lane against Gabby?
Yeah.
The only time we ever saw him die was when he decided to trade his life. And I don't actually know if it's ever worth it. I'd prefer if he was a little bit more patient, didn't rush his game so much.
they will have a very clear counter to the initiation aspect, because they do have the Fortune's End, which can purge off the Inkswell, causing it to instantly explode, basically doing no damage and very little stun. So that'll kill a lot of opportunities, so Dream is probably going to have to play a lot more passive.
I do like the Night Stalker in this game, by the way.
Yeah.
I feel like he gets on top of the Ember Spirit. Obviously, the way that the Fear works is as long as you're on top, you can't really cast any spells. You're tanky enough once you get things like Blink Dagger. I mean, 33 for me was like the original Night Stalker player.
Yeah.
And this guy gets to play Night Stalker in any meta, and I can't blame him. Because he was playing it when it was dumpster tier.
That's true.
The fun part about this game, though, is that Alliance gets to just like run it back in a very similar situation. Obviously, they know more or less how Gambit want to play this lineup. What's interesting to me is...
Oh, geez, look at that top lane. He almost dies, and Vampire is going to run into him in a second here, but Nico Baby's already healed up enough that right clicks aren't going to do it. He does have a Fate Bolt here in a second, and actually Nico Baby jukes back into him. Now the Fate Bolt is up. He just needs the vision. Somebody give it to him, and Shotchlow makes sure he runs over. That's going to be your first blood for Vampire.
And this is kind of funny because we saw this exact lane where Nico Baby got absolute free farm.
Yeah.
This exact lane, literally nothing has changed. And this time around, instead of getting free farm, I mean, the Omni's doing much better, and they get the first blood onto him.
I always find these kind of games fascinating because of that, right? Because so many times you just don't get to see the same lanes match up against each other.
Yeah.
And see people play it a little bit different. Because everyone has an idea of what lanes are going to win, but so many times players can surprise you.
Yeah, it's like, it was like they agreed to a scrim, and they're like, we just kind of want to see how it goes the second time around.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. So, I mean, at least Alliance should feel very comfortable and just try to replicate that same success, but this time around.
Oh, bottom lane. They do have the Inkswell that's going to be purged off. A little bit of stun under 33. No second bash, though, for Dream. So they'll miss out on that kill. We can see already the Oracle counter against the Grimstroke, and that's going to be a good counter later on against the Ember Spirit.
I would like to see a different item build from Nico Baby, by the way. Just, I didn't really agree with the Blink Dagger choice or the Manta decision. Going for something like Heart or BKB. BKB's excellent against Void. You take away so much of his damage. His Bash, his Maelstrom. When you're chronoed up and you pop your BKB, or you have your BKB pop before it chronos you, he can't do anything to you.
Yeah.
Or if he has a heart, you just have the raw HP to tank through it. Like, either option is fine.
Dream, he actually manages to get the bash onto 33. That results in Dream getting in front of him to be able to get that bounty rune, and it looks like the second one as well.
You're going to get all 4 bounty
All
runes.
4 bounty runes for Gambit. That is a big
slows down your timing so much as an Alchemist, as they're going to pop the Shrine here too with GPK. And again, we're just seeing deja vu, but a little bit better from Gambit.
Yeah. Is the mid lane going any different? Well, yeah, it looks like it. Limp, he is winning in CS while the Ember Spirit is away, and obviously he hasn't died yet, so.
Already a much better start than last game if he hasn't died twice at this point.
It's just like, whenever I've seen these sort of matchups where at least one team picks the same lineup, it's never the same result. I don't think I've ever seen that. Almost always the enemy team is able to make the adjustments to beat a lineup. So it's incredibly, I guess, courageous, we'll say, of FNG to do that.
Yeah, because the enemy team now has complete familiarity with your lineup.
Yeah. And then I guess if we lose, then that old proverb about the fine line between bravery and stupidity will come into play.
Just a sentry dewarded by Vampire.
Top CS for Shotchlow, and Nico Baby has already gone to jungle, just like last time, giving Hanskin the solo lane. Just like last time, we're going to have our Omni Knight try and cut creep waves and do what he can to pressure the tower, but he'll need some extra help if he really wants to take it quickly. Because otherwise, Hanskin, with a bit of regen, will just farm up the creep wave.
Smoke up here. Looks like they want to get into the jungle, try to find this Alk before he hits his level 6. They're going to immediately pop it so they know that he's on the high ground here. Nico Baby not going to see this in time.
Perfect. Last time they were a little slow to make this invasion. Nico Baby had already worked his way to the triangle. Now he gets caught before he makes that rotation. GPK is going to be able to get out as Limp tried to do something in return to recover that.
They're going to drop the sentry ward and not actually correctly guess. Because Gambit just went in there blind.
Different vision as well coming out from Vampire, so
They got outwarded so hard last game.
Yeah.
I actually feel draft-wise, Alliance might have won, but the actual play was entirely Gambit.
And perhaps that outwarding continues. We'll have to see as Fada smokes up, trying to get a good defensive ward. Oh, Shachlo actually managed to get the kill onto Hanskin. That's a big win. Removing that hero from the lane now means you can pressure that mid. Oh, mid. We're going to lose Limp here as the two supports come in. The telekinesis toss back. Eventually that missile will wear out, but Limp is very tanky. Yeah, you're right.
Juan, GPK ran out of his Flame Guard quite quickly, and they don't really quite have the damage for that, but they are putting pressure on him. His CS is just fine. Faceless Void is not doing as well as the Alchemist, but this time around, Shachlo's had a completely free game. It's Rune gonna be controlled up by Alliance. I like it. They've got somebody at bottom and top.
Purge the missile. Bits of harassment, but what about this Void? They've got the Night Stalker, but 33 doesn't have the levels, really. He's holding on to a point in case he wants to level up Crippling Fear. But nobody is rotating down to that bottom lane to gank for him. And without that silence, he is very susceptible to a Chronosphere. We saw how willing Dream was to use Chrono after Chrono to shut down 33's game early.
Yeah, 33 is having an okay time.
Vampire. This is going to feel real bad, because not only are you going to die, but very likely they know that you are doing some aggressive warding, so...
They need to get rid of this vision.
Yeah.
Last game, it was way too easy for them.
At least one sentry already bought by Fada, but he is so low on net worth right now. He's struggling.
Bottom lane did not get to do too much. Wasn't able to get too aggressive.
That's the thing, it's like the best warders, they use one sentry, they find a ward, and then they are able to use that recouped gold to buy more sentries and continue the snowballing of vision advantage. But Fada missed his first two, finally finds one.
Indeed does.
30 minutes until the bounty runes. They're always going to be important, but in an Alchemist game, even more so. The Chronosphere, and they're just going to go straight forward. Is Fada in the back lines, are going to try and burst him down. The Inkswell should be able to explode and get the kill. But now, without a Chronosphere, Limp rotating down. Maybe they can fight for the bounties coming up in 20 seconds, but the Night Stalker is immediately going to be found by GPK. He does manage to get the silence, levels that up pretty quickly, but FNG in trouble. The ultimate popped. Dream, he's going to have to walk away from this one. GPK is going to have to use some remnants even to get out. And they cannot contest this bounty rune.
He might just die. He doesn't have Time Walk.
He has only 3 levels of the Time Walk, so it's still on cooldown, but with daytime coming in and the bounties, Alliance just want to play it safe.
I think Limp had no idea. Yeah. He just assumed that he's got the 4 levels into it. And now the Alch game starts. They're going to start giving him the Empower. He's going to farm the jungle. This time around, though, his timing is so much slower. At this point, just to give anybody context that wasn't watching, he pretty much had the Relic at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
He is about 700 gold behind, so about a full minute than he was in the last game.
And this top tower is going to be dying pretty quickly here too, as Hanskin tries to pull it out with an illusion, but the Siege Wagon will eventually return to lane. Limp, with his rotation down to bottom lane earlier, he's going to stay down there with the Siege Wagon push coming in and trying to mirror things as much as possible. But look at Vampire, even he is pushed in the mid lane, is getting a lot of chip damage there. Alliance doing a great job defending their towers right now. 33 is going to plant himself behind the tower to make sure that no one can TP in unnoticed. This kind of says how important they think it is to kill this safe lane tower and open up the jungle for the Alchemist to start invading. Nico Baby played in that jungle a lot last time. The fact that they're willing to let so much damage happen to mid, but finally they're going to rotate over. Fada can't protect himself. The RP almost went out, but the telekinesis was there in time. Vampire protects both himself and his captain FNG from being
well
gone
done by
on.
Vampire, and they got so much damage on this mid tower too.
Yeah.
Catapult was alive for an absurdly long period of time, and they've got 5 heroes here on the side of Alliance. They don't want a repeat of last game where they lost their mid tower and they just weren't able to contest anything. They've even brought their Alch.
They brought so many heroes, but they're going to jump onto the Void, get the silence on him, pull him back, but can they actually do the damage to finish him? He's going to be able to time walk a large share of that. Missile still bonks him in the head, though. Dream's not going to be able to get the beautiful Chronosphere he was hoping for unless this telekinesis talks back. The slow one to Limp. And Fada holds on to the false promise there. He's waiting for a Chronosphere to come out first.
Likely to lose the tower, though. So we're seeing a very similar game.
Tries to go for the deny. Nicely played by 33. Still had the extra damage up from his Dark Ascension, but now it's back to daytime, and Dream hopes to catch him. No bash, though.
He knows he needs Fada if he wants this.
Fada. He doesn't even need to use his ultimate. Still able to hold on to it. Disarming the Void. And trying to slow down one of these heroes. They do manage to get the Chronosphere onto 2. This is so aggressive from Dream. It will result in a kill in the 5 position, but now Hans gets swinging a wins, but does manage to hit the RP, locking down 3. Now the silence over the top. They're going to be able to try and slow down these heroes, but the Omni Knights making him also take a rotation in from Grimstroke, and GPK coming in to be able to finish off 1. The buyback coming out from Fada as he false promises himself, but they're not ready to fight with this Alchemist, and Limp doesn't have enough damage against this 5-man that's happening from Gambit. They're going to eventually finish off Fada. That's a dieback from him. This is incredibly aggressive from Gambit, taking advantage of this timing that the Alcs simply cannot fight with just a Radiance.
Yeah, this literally looks like last game. They're going to make the same move, take this tier 2 tower, and Alliance, they literally saw the exact same lineup. It's very rare as a caster that I get to see that, but the adjustments just aren't really there.
Hanskin skewer up. He can activate the Shrine if he wants to, but this could still be a fight that Gambit try and take. It is still daytime though. 33, trying to silence up the Void. Does manage to time walk before the missile lands on him, but they're gonna chase. The Rocket Barrage coming out. Shotsloww gets a little bit low. GPK though is trying to get those supports. Chases on Hanskin, but he jumps to his defensive Remnant and wasn't able to get enough burst damage to kill that support.
And once again, even though Nico Baby is on top in net worth, the next 3 heroes, all Gambit.
Yeah. That gap between the carries is not that big compared to last game.
Oh yeah, last game he had pretty much double. As we see the perfect Chronos here. Alliance had to know this was going to happen, by the way. Dream, what he was really waiting for was
Fada to show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once he found him, and he even found the perfect positioning on the 33, Hanskin comes in. Shotsloww, I love that. He just pops the Guardian Angel.
Yeah.
Before he gets hit by the RP, he realizes the danger that they're in anyways, and they get additional kills because of it.
Even just a little bit of sustain goes a long way when you don't have supports that deal that much damage for you.
And Fada comes in very confidently, but they had already used the flak, they'd used the call down.
Yeah.
There's no follow-up to try to help him out when it comes to damage. And Gambit are just running over them again.
During daytime, it's all in the gyrocopter to pump out the damage, and they knew 33's Dark Ascension was still on cooldown, so.
The good news, though, is I feel like Nico Baby at least has made the right adjustment. He's going for the BKB.
Yeah.
No Manta or anything like that. Really felt like that hurt them last game.
And it is going to be an interesting test, your suggestion of a different item build, because this is actually a worse game than last time around. We'll see whether that different item build can make the difference. If Gambit actually survives through the mid-game and doesn't get run over like they did last time, we'll see how effective that BKB would have been.
The warding, though, is a little bit different this game. They're not able to get into the triangle. Fada's done a much better job of consistently warding and de-warding in this area. It's pretty broken where, like, 18 minutes in the game, you can get 2 different wards down into the enemy triangle. Makes it so that Nico Baby is just really afraid at all times. Because farming in the triangle is nice when you're trying to defend your tier 2 because you can make that rotation over like we saw.
Right.
You do want the Alk to be a presence on the map without actually having to come over. The threat of him alone should be enough, not really knowing where he is.
BKB is almost here already for the Alchemist, but...
And the BKB blink is a much better decision because I feel like he gets the backline with this build.
Yeah.
They can't do too much to him. As Vampire, he sees the other ward too once he gets up there.
Still, Gambit, they're just going tower by tower, taking tier 2 top, now heading for mid.
You can't give up on the vision game if you're Fada.
Yeah.
This is what hurt you last time so hard. It's the little things that you won't normally see. Being able to see where the Alk is farming at all times, setting up her Chronos for free.
They're losing so much farming time from Gambit just kind of posturing around, because Alliance still wants to be able to fight sometimes. 33's farm has been ruined as a result of that, right? They keep on trying to say, man, we should be able to defend this tower, we should be able to fight. And all the time while they're fighting, they're not farming, and 33's still level 7 with just bracers and phase boots. Telekinesis.
A little bit low here.
Pulling him back here, but there is going to be Fada. There's so many good saves there with the Fate's Edict denying a lot of the magic damage.
I mean, the real combo starts when Nico Baby decides to enter the game, and they've got the Alk plus Oracle combo, because Fada with any other hero right now just feels very bad. Does have the BKB, likely to wait for the blink before they decide to get aggressive.
Do you think that's why Alliance is sacrificing their other course games so much? It's because they think this combo is just going to take over the game.
When you see the exact lineup, then you kind of assume that, yeah, like hopefully this is the difference.
Had the BKB, now the blink is about to come up. They found Limp though, trying to body block him as best as possible. Limp drops his ultimate to be able to slow down these heroes, but the time dilation and the chronosphere are going to be used to make sure there's no chance of Limp getting out alive. I think Dream just wanted to make sure there was no Oracle behind him or anything like that.
Yeah, and Liv was in fact completely by his lonesome. Something underrated too is they haven't really been able to get aggressive wards out.
Yeah.
They just placed their first one here, which means that they're really just relegated to farming in their jungle because they don't see any vision outside the map. And I like this move by Gambit.
Yeah.
They're just going to leave Dream alone, make the move up as 4. You can't just show 5 heroes and farm out the jungle. I feel like that slows down your game a little bit too much, but Nico Baby, because he now has a BKB, without the Chronosphere, he can't die.
Yeah.
This is really what they needed. They're going to click his hero, see that he's got...
They're going to try and get some fast initiation. Forced out the BKB, though.
He's got Blink Dagger. He's going to get aggressive.
Kill onto the Rubik. Does he have any backup, though? Fada's trying to get there, but their Force Staff and the Purification, that's going to be able to buy Fire some time, especially with Guardian Angel, preventing a lot of that physical damage from 33. They're going to be able to keep him in place with the Telekinesis as well as the Chains. Not enough damage, though.
Oh, I don't love that, though. Nico Baby was really afraid.
Yeah.
There's no Chronosphere. I feel like he should bait out that BKB a little bit longer. His ulti was already popped and the regen is already kicked in.
Yep.
But that's a 10-second BKB charge now used on the back of just a smoke. You'll take that trade every single time.
I would also say if Fada's like a little bit closer to him, he wouldn't ever be that scared. Right?
I really need Fada to just play around Nico Baby right now. I need one of the 2 supports to play around this guy.
Yep.
You can't be this greedy at this phase of the game. All that matters is get your Alk farmed, let him carry you. That's not what they were able to do last game. Don't make the same mistake this game. You get to Groundhog Day it, take a second
back.
Yeah, exactly. Learn from your mistakes in that game. Play around your...
Oh, they're setting up for the Faceless Void. They want to catch out Dream before he gets his meal there. Not able to get the silence in time, but the Unstable Concoction is there. But because they used the silence so early, Dream is going to be able to time walk almost immediately. He doesn't have the Chronosphere, though. The Courier coming in, it almost dies. It does manage to give its item away to the Night Stalker and juke it out. But the Gyrocopter trying to chase down FNG. Good Force Staff gets him away. Missile will bonk him. Nico Baby looks to be able to finish him off. Now a nice skewer into 2 with the RP on top of him. Now 33 running through them with the silence. Doesn't actually go for shots, though. They're going to leave that to the Gyrocopter and Nico Baby. He wants to be able to catch the Void here, but the daytime is going to slow him down significantly. They're going to try and TP to the other side of the map. That's why GPK looks to be able to cancel that, but Alchemist was a second TP. He'll be able to get at least one of those bounties. 3 for Alliance after a 1-team fight.
Very well done by Alliance. They were just set up so much better. It's getting to the supports that matter. Like, that was very well done by Limp. He got on top of FNG. Once you lose your supports, Gambit can't really fight at that point, and Shashlo had to use his Force Staff, which I was a really big fan of that item pickup. It saved them so many different times.
Yeah.
Didn't have it up for himself, though. They're gonna see Nico Baby almost has the AC. This time around, Alliance have done a much better job of just slowing down the game and just not making it impossible for their carry to actually carry the game. As Vampire gonna get run into here, he's gonna steal.
Okay. Purifying Flames, not quite enough to finish him off. Purification.
Force Staff once again.
He does survive.
Their cores are still doing okay on the side of Gambit, but Alliance have the gold lead, pulling a little bit ahead right now.
At AC, that's going to be a really big pickup.
Yeah. And I like now that the supports have made the adjustments. Play around your Alk. That's what allowed them to take that fight bottom. He'll find all the other heroes because Gambit want to initiate on that Alk.
Right.
But naturally, you know, you'll start the fight that way anyways.
So for Gambit, since they haven't been able to just kind of run over Alliance during this timing, like they did last game,
Ember's got BKB
defensively
now.
around the high ground, they are going to be popping the BKB on GPK. He locks down the 2 of them. This is a beautiful setup, but Nico Baby's still tough to be able to bring down with his BKB. That's why the Chronosphere goes down to the backline instead. Both the supports are already dead for Alliance, but so too the support's dead from Gambit. Immediately buyback coming out from Rubik. They do have the Guardian Angel being used, trying to deal with that flank cannon. They're all going to retreat back to their tower, but Nico Baby He still wants to chase forward. He does have Unstable Concoction and the Blink Dagger. He's gonna try and go for the Omni Knight. Take away this Purification, but the slowdown, 33. He was trying to close in with the Silence, but because of GPK's great Searing Chains, it actually stops the Silence from getting on top of the Omni Knight. He's able to get the Purification on himself to live.
And Alliance used 2 buybacks just for that fight.
Oh, telekinesis toss back. Nico Baby, they know he doesn't have the BKB, but there is still Fada behind him, ready to go with False Promise.
Gambit need to win, or at least be able to disengage, take even fights. For this to be a thing, they need this BKB timing to run out. And Fada, once again, positioning-wise, just getting caught out, not able to get his ulti. Anytime he gets chronoed, Dream's gonna be pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
And they instantly pop the 2 buybacks on the supports.
What is this? Gambit.
Don't have the Chronos here, but they're still gonna go for it anyways.
Trying to sneak one in like this with the empowered up Faceless Void. They're saying that that steal from the Rubik is good enough for them to try and take this Roshan. It's already down to half health, but Alliance are around this area. They have no Dark Ascension, so it is a really hard fight for them. But they do have an RP. They need to be able to get vision inside the pit. Nico Baby, is he gonna run in? Limp? Maybe he's gonna chop down the call down. They see how low it is, and Limp's gonna make the call, trying to rush inside the pit, but he's been chained up and won't be able to get there in time. Now the Aegis is on top of him, and Dream wants to be able to take this engagement, even without the Chronosphere. Just the Inkswell is good enough for him. Limp is forced to pop his BKB, turns, gets a couple flat cannon shots. Nico Baby stuns himself. He doesn't activate his BKB, and now he may be in trouble, almost bursted down, but that's why the save comes out from the False Promise. Gambit, they forced that out of Nico Baby, and then just quickly retreated, reset the team fight.
That's what you need to do. You can trade one support for that and you'd be okay as well. Just reset the fight, make him use his BKB, get those charges down, whittle it down. You've got a lot of control and a lot of magic damage on your side, provided you're able to get that BKB low without just losing complete control of the game. And that's why you take this Aegis, you go for that risky play, you're playing to win at that point. You're making it so that the Alk just feels even more pressure.
The Alchemist has double the net worth of the highest Gambit hero in the Ember Spirit, and yet they're only up 2,000 net worth. Smoke up. They're gonna try and make their initiation with the Chronosphere. It is there to be able to catch out Limp. They know the False Promise is still on cooldown from the Oracle, and Limp, as tanky as he may be, will eventually die.
They're gonna go high ground again.
These timings, they just keep on abusing them. Every single time there's something big on cooldown like Dark Ascension or False Promise, Gambit forced the fight.
It's gonna be nighttime now though.
Get to get the bounty runes. Good play from 33 to get to the other side, so they split it 2 for 2.
Dream doesn't have Chronosphere for another 100 seconds. And even though the Alk is so farmed, again, they need Limp.
They need somebody else to
They need
help carry,
33.
right?
They need somebody to split this burden. This Alk's BKB is eventually going to get low. Everybody from the side of Gambit are getting farmed. You need at least one other hero in a game like this to be able to carry you.
And 33 is going to try and help, but he's building into a BKB, so he's not going to have that big AoE damage that an INTERCEPTOR does for you. And because the early BKB choice from Limp, which was smart, they were beginning to get run at for sure, but it slows down his farm as well when you don't have the Maelstrom or the INTERCEPTOR as well. Big farming tools for a hero like this. "26-minute power runes." Gambit always making sure they're in a position to collect those.
Yeah. Josh Lowe always keeping up in farm with his other 2 cores. That 4-staff purchased by him, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That set up like 4 different fights for Gambit.
So sick and so necessary against a Night Stalker. Quite helpful against Gyrocopter, too.
And you see Fada's net worth. That buyback, the dieback, in fact, early on. 1,500 net worth.
And all the Sentry he's been buying.
Yeah, trying to get rid of the vision, but Gambit still has vision up there. They see
Still
all heroes
have
right
a
now.
ward right there. And this may result in a good Chronosphere in 8 seconds time. Dream is not ready to go just yet, though.
Fada, once again, they're losing the vision battle. They're finding ways to sneak vision into that triangle, and it's making it hard for them to play a normal game. Is Nico maybe going to run into Shoshlo for the time being? 33 has his BKB, so it looks like they do want to fight, or at least get a little bit more aggressive than they have been.
Vada, it seems, has matured a lot as a player. Certainly not somebody you would expect to be able to captain given his temperament 2-3 years ago, but he said that he's learned a lot since then. He's ready to take on a leadership role for Alliance.
They're gonna see Vision the entire time. They see Fada too. They see the Alk on the high ground. This would be ideal. They could get at least two of the heroes.
Fada is. He wants to be able to get the Chronosphere on him and one other if possible. The Unstable Concoction, stunning himself, and they have to know there's gotta be Vision here, right? And Fada will finally find it. Maybe it's not too late. The silence coming out. It's a little bit too late to catch Dream before the time walk, but now Dream, he's just going to turn and fight 33. Fortunately, BKB might be able to buy him a little bit of space, threatening the Chronosphere instead. Going for Limp.
Really far out by himself.
His BKB as well, but now these BKBs are going to run their timer. Nico Babe goes for the back line, trying to get the Omni Knight. Dream over for a bash, not quite there. Guardian Angel out from Shotchlo, and another great force stab into the high ground. Great retreat from Gambit, but it's about to run its end. The Chronosphere, they're going to turn, catching the two cores with Inkswell on top of that. He's going to go for Limp. The Gyrocopter feeling he's got the more damage. Paul's promise is there. That's why they turned to Nico Baby instead of the RP. That's going to be a beautiful one, but they can't quite finish off Dream because he's got the Aegis. They can't overcommit for this one. And the Gyrocopter still dies. He doesn't get enough heals. 33 is going to get caught. He was trying to go to the back line, but he dies as well. A 1-for-2 exchange.
They had Vision up there for way too long.
Yeah.
Nico Baby put in a position where he feels like he has to pop the BKB. The double force staff, the coordination from Gambit right now, just outplaying Alliance. We're unable to ever start a team fight. So Nico Baby feels like he has to play reactive Dota.
Yep.
He's getting a little bit too skittish. And by the time his BKB's over, he can't really do too much.
Killing that Grimstroke, a great choice for 33, but just a little bit too late to stop some of those spells.
This position right here, once the RP is laid out, that's where you want your BKB up.
Yeah. The fact that they had to blow it so early, and Gambit just kited them around beautifully. And Gambit, I mean, they're just playing to farm at this point. They're okay with the way the game's going. They're keeping the net worth relatively even against an Alchemist lineup that is eventually going to run its course. He's going to have to start handing out Aghanims because he is 6 slotted right now. He's going to give the first one to Limp.
There's some very good Ags, though, to give in this game.
Yeah.
Very, very game-changing Ags to give. Limp can get one, 33 can get one. Hanskins and Fadas are kind of whatever for this game.
I think Hanskins is actually pretty good for this game.
Double Shockwave back and forth. Yeah, it's all right, but it's not as game-changing as like the 2 core ones. That's the ones that you care about.
For sure.
His Dream, they're still here as 5. Alliance, Smoke's gonna pop. He's gonna walk onto the high ground. They know there's no Chronosphere. Dream's gonna get out for a second. Doesn't have the Aegis. Looks like they were just trying to fight over the bounty runes. But Nico Baby is still pressing forward. They're gonna find Limp, chains him up, and Dream 20 seconds until that chrono. That's why they're not immediately jumping on this fight.
Gambit, again, are just gonna try and see if they can force out a BKB or something from Limp.
How long is Nico Baby's now? Oh.
Controlled up, he's right next to the shrine. He's gonna be forced to activate it here. Healed up by Fada as well. There's no counterplay they can really make right now.
And now that the shrine's been used,
he's just going to continue to be kited around here, and he's so by himself. Onskin tries to come in. They do manage to get the locking down Fada. Fada is going to die in this fight. He does have a buyback, though. The Guardian Angel thrown out. That's going to slow down the damage. Shotchlo staying alive thanks to this purification.
He's got all 3 cores on him right now.
Trying to run him down still. The missile's going to come in. That stun isn't going to last for long, but it looks like it's just going to be long enough to be able to get the kill. On the high ground miss, but finally 33 is there to be able to collect it. He already got FNG. Now he's going to try and chase down Vampire or Dream. Dream, he doesn't have a BKB right now, and they have the unstable concoction. They're going to be able to get a chain stun. The force step gets him away from the silence, and he's going to be able to time walk out now. Nico Baby instead going for the Rubik. The time dilation slowing him down. And Void, they do have another silence. They're going to be able to get the RP. Hunskin saying, finish off this carry. I brought him to you. The counter skewer doesn't save Vampire. GPK diving in deep. He does have the BKB. He's going to try and finish off some of these heroes.
Lions are taking a lot of damage here.
They bought back already. GPK, slide of fist after slide of fist. Now Vampire, telekinesis 1 second. The chain's able to stop the TP, but of course down out from Vampire. He's able to get GPK back a little bit farther. They're going to be kited. Alliance are so low. Can they buy back on anybody else? Nobody else has it.
They just needed one more hero for that engagement.
Oh no. Gambit could have had the opportunity to turn that fight and wipe Alliance, but nobody had a buyback besides
Get that damage done by GPK in that fight. He gets into all 5 heroes. They needed anything at that point. But the Chronosphere That was not ideal. Only finding Fada, who immediately bought back after that anyways.
It was fine before when you were so much stronger than Alliance, but now letting these cores go running around with their BKBs, you're just going to lose so much of your backline during that.
He's going to get another Ags for his Night Stalker. This is going to make 33's life a lot better too, and you can see the net worth shoot up because of the Ags that was given.
Yeah.
Like now it's not just the Alk that's going to be a problem. This next Roshan, though, likely to determine a lot of this game. Dire's going to scan. They're going to see that they're in there. 5 seconds until the Rubik's up. Gambit this time around will have everything available to them, as well as a DD rune. Dream will likely want to get his level 18 before they take this fight.
This is going to work nicely for Alliance. Roshan doesn't spawn for another minute and a half. That's going to sync up nicely with this next nighttime. I think that's why Gambit really wanted to go into the pit. See if they can force that engagement while it's still day.
Two minutes left until it's natural night. Alliance posturing around the area. They know they can't give up an Aegis cheese. If there's anything to fight for, it's this, and their lineup has finally found its legs.
They can just get the Satanic for the Gyrocopter plus his level 20. He can start kiting around the Faceless Void a lot better.
Yeah, he's starting to get really strong because of the Ags that was given to him.
Yeah. If you can activate the Satanic right before the Chronosphere, you'll just keep healing up thanks to the Aghanims.
That was the Ags for 33 now too, right?
Yeah.
So their net worth has just shot up.
Yeah, that's the great thing about some of these Alchemist lineups. They hit a really big mid-game window, and they don't fall off immediately because of the Aghanims that are spread about.
Yeah, they just have better cores for this game too, to utilize those Ags.
Yeah.
Call down's gonna get laid out. Roshan's still not quite up. So Gambit, because they have the curry over here, they feel pretty comfortable just pushing out the lanes. Alliance is gonna walk in, claim this high ground. Dream is around the area. He would love a fight with this DD, and Roche just spawns as they leave the pit.
Gambit, no, they've got a courier in place for it. But first, they have to fight over the bounty runes. Good push coming into the bottom lane thanks to GPK. And nobody from Alliance is going to move to deal with that. They want to maintain this high ground space. They just don't have any boots of travels or anything to make that kind of move.
Fada has to be so careful with his positioning. The team fights are won or lost on whether or not he gets his ulti off, and this time around he won't have his buyback.
Bounty's up. Alliance just going to play for one of them at this point, not being greedy whatsoever. Still a double damage on Dream.
And he's just going to go in with the Solar Crest. Alliance have no idea about this. And they don't have a scan or anything like that either, and GPK is going to push forward. I don't think they know.
Get a chance to look inside the pit?
In 33, might think about popping his Dark Ascension here.
Lim's going to come in, throw out the call down. There's the vision.
They're going to know that it's really low, though. They know that Dream's been in there, and his DD was popped for this.
4,000 HP. Now 3,000 Alliance. They're going to be forced to make a move here eventually. 33 looks inside the pit once again, throws out the silence real quickly, trying to deal with Dream, but Roshan, as well as Void's beating on him. He's going to throw out the Chronosphere, but he's not sure who'd hit. He's trying to hit Roshan to be able to get the Aegis and cheese, and he does manage to grab it just in time while GPK jumps onto the back line. Fada protects himself, though, with the magic immunity of Satanic. Now he's going to turn around, try and get the lockdown on the Ember Spirit. They do manage to get him. A silence, unstable concoction is up. They also have the silence there. Chain stunning him. They bring him down in time. The force staff, the purification, he's away. He's able to get out now, but Dream actually jumped in a little bit too deep. He may have just fed away his Aegis. He's trying to get to the other side of the cliff with Time Walk. He does manage to do so just in time.
Had the blink, but just not the distance on it. All 5 heroes were clumped up for a second. Alliance, they want to take that fight because they know that Chrono's down, even though they do have Aegis. And the timing of that Chrono is going to mean more to them.
Well, it does mean that Alliance can actually get 3 bounty runes from earlier. Everybody was paying so much attention to top, nobody could rotate to bottom. They're going to go back in, though. They really want to fight Dream, even if he doesn't have if he does have that Aegis, they're going to be able to find Fada. Fada just wrong positioning, has to use the false promise on himself, but he do manage to get the silence on Dream. That's going to be him down. That's going to be the Aegis gone, but when he comes back up, he'll have BKB, and Nico Baby's in trouble. He needs to be able to activate his BKB, but he's being chased on for so long. Hanskin gets his ulti off now. Two-man stun, but immediately Dream is going to be woken up thanks to the purification coming out from the Omni Knight. Lips going to go down now. Fada's going to be chased down by GPK as well. 33 coming in through the back line. They want to be able to catch Shoshlo, but another great force step up into the high ground. A slowdown from 33, but Nico Baby's left alone without his BKB. No opportunity to blink away. Now they managed to get the latch. FNG, he catches both 33 and Hanskin together. They're going to try and chase him down, but 33 slowed down by being attached to Hanskin's fate. Finally, they do manage to break up, but GPK, no INTERCEPTOR just yet, so he can't chase any further out of Remnants.
Fada has to be more careful about the positioning.
Yes.
Just getting caught out right there made things so hard. Nico Baby, they almost bursted him down. I mean, that was a pretty ideal. Didn't get a single bash.
Dream is saying, are you kidding me? So many times I've just not had the bashes when I needed them. But now he does have a Satanic. Can Gambit, though, go for the high ground? Gotta collect some items first. The INTERCEPTOR's still waiting in GPK's stash. Shoshlo's actually gonna try and get one too. That way his positioning won't really matter too much. He can Guardian Angel from wherever he's at.
Now that 11K gold lead that we once saw cut to 6. Nico Baby down. They want to take advantage of this grab. The last outer tower. Gambit feeling themselves. Alliance, they have to do a better job of protecting Fada. It's not just all on him.
Yeah.
He's often being left alone without a circle around him. Their item builds also not the same as Gambit's, where they're able to just save their supports.
Yeah,
Fada does a better job of helping him out. I mean, he only has boots.
Yeah, he's broke, so he needs the Glimmer Capes and Force Staffs to come from his allies.
Yeah, but none of his cores able to get one.
Well, he's got the 120 GPM, so maybe that'll change things for him in 10 minutes' time.
He needs something defensive right now.
Yeah.
It looks different when Vampire is able to double Force Staff with Shoshlo, somebody out of any position. There were multiple times where the Ember, for example, should have been caught out, but GPK, his team, able to help him in a pinch.
Gotta be a bit nervous. They're gonna smoke up right now. They know this is a great opportunity. They may not have Blink, but they have Force Staff on Vampire with the stolen reverse polarity. It's a huge team fight advantage, but if they get overzealous and have the wrong positioning as a result, Alliance, though, playing on the low ground right now as the Bounty Rune's about to spawn. 33 has his smoke broke. Emperor is going to jump in pretty wildly thanks to his INTERCEPTOR, just trying to get some vision of anybody, but Fada does manage to get the right positioning. 33, though, is a little bit isolated right now. The rest of his team needs to be able to group back up, but Fada is going to be trying to stay with this Night Stalker, who's just running in. 33 silencing everybody, slowing him down with the Void as well. They get managed to the Shrine, but FNG's already dead. The Chronosphere is going to be able to lock him down. They're going to focus on the Night Stalker of all these heroes, but he's not dying that fast, and Fada is still ready to go with the false promise. There's the RP. Another RP from Hanskin, going to be able to lock down Dream. Dream's not going to get the time walk off in time. Alliance win the fight, and Alliance are going to be able to chase down more. Shoshlo, he's going to be found by Nico Baby, and 33. He will be the 4th hero down unless a Force Staff. Now it's daytime too. Maybe he's actually out.
Gonna run himself away, does get caught by the tail end of that shockwave, but Dream, that Chronosphere, that was not the Dream.
No, it certainly wasn't. He's running out of damage. GPK, double damage. I mean, GPK tried so hard to be able to find that Oracle, but Fada...
Shoshlo's now been left in no man's land, gonna get stunned up.
Heavenly Sprays is going to be able to make some of these stuns go away, and another great Force Staff. Time after time, this guy finds the angles to be able to get up and down cliffs non-stop.
And they're not going to chase as a result of that, but huge for Fada not to be able to get caught there. He held his position on the left side.
Yep.
33 found a 3-man Void. They ran into the call down. They found FNG once again. Gambit supports got a little bit too over-aggressive there. Such a cool game where so much of it is determined by support positioning on both ends.
And it seems like both teams are pretty confident in their late game too. I mean, Gambit really could have tried to push the envelope a bit more, but after all, they've got this Faceless Void hard carry who is working his way towards being 6 slotted.
Yeah, it's a little worrisome, though, that he wasn't able to burst down any hero in that Chronosphere.
Oh, yeah. Trying to go for 33, but he had 17 armor. And even still, even if he did get low, Fada would have saved him. He was there, ready to go with the False Promise outside the Chronosphere.
Game's starting to get a little bit messy for Gambit, who had, again, an excellent mid-game, but 1 or 2 sloppy fights, and Alliance with great positioning. Trying to pull things back a little bit.
Yeah, in the mid game, it felt like all the sustain from Gambit was a huge advantage, right?
Yeah.
Thanks to that Omni Knight, but now that Omni Knight, that sustain is kind of playing against him. He can't provide damage inside the Chronosphere. And Alliance is beginning to weather through that void and all of his burst inside of Chrono.
Especially because now they were able to give Nico Baby space. He pays that back by getting the 2 Ags. We saw how good it was on the Night Stalker in that one engagement. When they ran up the high ground, he voids 3 heroes. Both supports feel like they have to continue to go up. The call down, lay down on top of them.
Soon he can start going for moon shards as well. Looks like that's what he's got queued up for now. Level 25s.
I like
will
it.
be
He's
coming up
just gonna
soon.
make Limp stronger and stronger. Said Limp, you might have not had the best game, but I'll artificially make it better.
Nico Baby may just have to pass over the reins of carry to this gyrocopter.
GPK.
Level 25, GPK with Aghanim Scepter.
Dream's gonna walk up onto the high ground.
Nico Baby charging up the unstable concoction, wants to be able to get that Omni Knight as always, but a beautiful soul bind immediately from FNG. Slowed down, 33 tries to get on top of him, but there is Dream, able to lock him down with the Chronosphere. He's gonna focus on him while GPK distracts everybody else. He managed to force Fada to use False Promise on himself. Oh, the skewer in! Dream, he time walked straight into the skewer. Now he's gonna be RP'd up, but he does have the grease. It's not good enough. The damage too much from Alliance. Now the counter RP from Vampire, only hitting Limp though. 33 gonna be able to chase down that Rubik, silencing him as well, and leaving the carries to be able to finish up the kill. Alliance, what a beautiful skewer. Just happened to be timed right as the time walk in.
And Dream also gave Hanskin that opportunity though. He very confidently time walked in.
Yeah.
He didn't really have anything left. They're gonna lose some more heroes here.
Gonna be saved, have the grace as well as Solar Crest, and now Nico Baby, he's overextended himself. He doesn't have the chemical rage, he's already dead, and GPK knows it too. He's moving on to the next target. That's gonna be the Night Stalker, 33.
Uses
buyback chained, forced out the BKB. He doesn't have a TP though. It's good enough. Roshan not up for another 2 minutes. Something that Gambit are gonna be quite sad. Another advantageous Roche timing for Alliance.
Game getting quite stressful for both teams now.
Yeah.
Nico Baby just got ahead of himself a little bit.
Level 25, the Gyrocopter, not the greatest. 3 homing missile charges, but we do have 25 on the Alchemist. That's a big upgrade in damage with the base attack time being lowered.
I feel like Dream is maybe getting a little bit frustrated. He sees the Night Stalker, he's like, screw it, I'm gonna chrono whoever I see.
Yeah. He's trying to protect his supports, who admittedly do add a decent amount of damage to the team fight. But maybe he's overreacting a bit. Meanwhile, GPK, he did a really good job. He just dove into Alliance and immediately went for Fada, and Fada was forced to use the False Promise on himself rather than running forward and saving the Night Stalker. A good idea, but sadly didn't work to execution as Dream just running out of damage here.
And unfortunately for Gambit, Roshan will not spawn in time. The Alk is about to be up if they're maybe a little bit luckier.
Maybe they can still do something though if they control the power runes. It's an invis rune there, but at bottom, a double damage, one of those game-changing runes.
I'd like Gambit to be able to check that one. Just because you know these opportunities still exist at this point in the game. It's 46 minutes in. They're worried though. They have no vision down there. And Alliance could just be camped up, getting their own bounty runes and their own power rune.
33 has a Ghost Scepter alongside the gem. He's going to spot out the double damage. So instead, the opportunity turns to Alliance. As Gambit are so focused on controlling the pit area around Roshan that they haven't gone down to that bottom wave.
Roshan is going to spawn maybe not the best timing anymore for Gambit as a DD limp is going to come in. And again, this all comes down to positioning, Cap. Can they find Fada? What kind of jump do both teams get?
Fada. Not sure if he had it last time, but he does have a Glimmer Cape now, so maybe that will protect him from GPK when he dives in with his Shivas and BKB. He does not want to have to use False Promise on himself. That's the worst possible situation. Just tries to attack Roshan right away with the Solar Crest from the side.
And Alliance is about half HP. They're going to smoke up right now. Limp is just going to confidently walk in. If it breaks, he knows for a fact that somebody's in the pit.
They don't have to call down to get vision inside. 33 does want to pop the Dark Ascension right away.
They're going to walk all the way around. This might be a mistake.
What's happening here?
Alliance is going all the way around thinking they can find Gambit in a weird position, but instead they're just going to give up the Aegis for free.
They're going to be able to jump onto the supports on the sideline, but is this going to be good enough? The Unstable Concoction landing onto FNG with the Chronosphere locking the 2 down and letting FNG turn around and get the Soul Bind. GPK jumps onto the back line, hoping to be able to catch Fada, but Fada already got the False Promise off to the Alchemist. The Alchemist beating down Dream. He's already taken away the Aegis. Now he looks to be able to catch Shotzo. No, he's going to turn back. Maybe start retreating with that False Promise a little bit, but Limp is still playing very far forward. Into Dream he goes. Nico Baby went to the back line trying to catch on FNG. A second Chronosphere comes out, and that's going to be the Gyrocopter. A buyback from him. 33 quite low, blinking forward, trying to stay on top of those supports with a Void, but it's GPK who wants to be able to finish off Fada. Almost has him too. Commits heavily, but here comes Limp with a buyback. He's going to be able to chase away that Ember Spirit while Hanskin and 33 and Lunstein. Nico Baby, nice two-man set for the Unstable Concoction. We got to be able to get to the Void. A beautiful RP. Look, another two. They can't activate the Shrine. They're both dead. Shotzo, he activates the Shrine for himself, but Heavenly Grace away. But he goes away. GPK died while trying to chase away Fada, who he never even killed. A disastrous fight for Gambit. Now Shotslow's going to be chased to the infinite ends of the earth. He will get caught eventually here, surely, as Nico Baby may take the time to be able to clean up FNG. Instead, homing missile after homing missile, looking to be able to run down that Omni Knight. He got back to the Shrine. FNG survives. Oh, then now they've gone too far. 33 with a dive in of GPK. He'll be able to finish off the Night Stalker. Gem on the deck, but he wants to be able to catch Limp. Limp is healed up with the Satanic, but he doesn't have the BKB anymore. Limp fighting up against the Ember Spirit. He's not going to win this man fight. Hanskin needs to be able to save him somehow. A 4-1, a skewer to the side, but GPK definitely dodges it once again with his Light of Fist. Now, Unstable Concoction. He does manage to get that stun on GPK. Immediately taken away, they have in the grace. And Nico Baby just forced to stand and fight against 3, and now he's going to die. Alliance, they dove too deep, they went too far, and now they paid the ultimate price.
What kind of dive was that from Alliance? They were perfectly fine. FNG, yes, he used his dieback, but does it really matter at that point?
We started off this game 3 talking about the pressure of what this game means, either being eliminated or going into the grand finals. And that pressure right here in those high adrenaline situations where you win the big team fight, you lose your mind, you go a little too far.
If they don't make that play, they can just confidently march down. They'll be playing 2v5, 3v5 in fact.
Yeah.
And they'll feel really good about that position.
I mean, they just want to fight against Aegis and Refresher Shard too. Like, you had to be confident you could take another fight if you just chill.
They know there's no buyback on Dream, and instead they're put in this position where Limp, he's dead for 60 seconds. This is likely going to lead to at least a Rax. Dream is going to respawn at the perfect time. Alliance, without any of their cores, they've got to be so careful about losing any of their supports now. And Grimstroke, the timing of his stun, when it explodes onto both cores under the tower. Pressed up. Alliance do have the glyph. Dream's gonna find a double damage rune.
They've got 35 seconds. What are they gonna do right after they take this tier 3?
We'll see if GPK can find any sort of initiation. Dream with the DD rune, they might even go for more.
Can you fight with the Gyrocopter still down for that small window, or Gambit just gonna take
I think they should
just
take
the one,
set.
just the 2?
I think you take another set here with the DD.
One more set, double damage, still has plenty of time. But are they gonna get caught though? Maybe just a melee Rax and back?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what Dream says. He's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Gyrocopter's coming back up, boys.
If you don't get the DD, you actually just take 1 Rax, and that's it. But because of the DD, Dream gets there in time, and they even find the Shrine for their troubles. They're gonna go up by 8k gold. What a swing that was. Coming on the heels of Alliance just diving into tier 4 towers for 5 support.
And grouped up perfectly for GPK to make that big jump in.
what does the win probability even look like after that one? You can see that defining play where that happened.
Yep, bounce back and forth, up and down, but right now in the favor of Gambit. Gambit, though, they're going to start recovering a lot of their buybacks, both the Void and Rubik. Going to have theirs soon. And Alliance, they need to farm up some gold to get some of theirs back, such as on 33.
And it's a regen rune, Arcane Rune at bottom.
This game can still go either way. Any more level 25s yet? No. Do have the Void with the 25% backtrack. And Omni Knight with the Heavenly Grace cooldown. That's why there have been so many Heavenly Graces. A 6-second cooldown for a 12-second duration. 2 people are going to have a Heavenly Grace on them in these fights, making it really tough for Alliance to keep the lockdown on these guys.
The buyback's now available for this Faceless Void, and there's none on Limp. Got to be careful about their positioning. Fada's done such a good job, by the way, since the mid-game where he was getting caught out.
Yep.
Now he's recognizing his positioning matters so much.
You could see he is improving from game to game. These little things from the 5 position, obviously new to the position from this season, played off lane last year, and most of his career was a mid laner.
This top push, by the way, is going to alert Gambit to the fact that nobody's here.
Yeah.
Almost certainly in their jungle.
Alliance is very obviously playing aggressive, and Gambit will just sit inside their base until somebody shows, and as they do, immediately pop back out. Octarine now for GPK. Recharge time starts getting a little insane.
GPK's been insane in the last 2 games, by the way.
Yeah.
This Ember Spirit does so much work. He's made so many fights theirs with his play and his positioning, dancing around them non-stop.
He's trying to poke at the Alchemist here, see if they can force out a BKB. And he's got to be careful, too, of the Chainsaw because of the Scythe of Vice that was picked up by FNG. Will be able to get that chain to stable into the Chronosphere with the False Promise already there. Fada in position, in time to be able to save this Alchemist. And he stood start regenerating up. Oh, what a skewer! They're going to be able to group all these heroes up. They don't even necessarily need a Chainsaw after that one. The Alchemist is able to cleave through almost all of them. GPK still going to be alive. FNG dead with no buyback. 33 trying to stay on top of these heroes while playing around the cliffs is looking to be able to slow them down with the Voids. They're going to make sure that Shotslow has no chance of retreating, and now 33 chases for more. He's got another Void to be able to slow him down. Vampire, he's looking like a juicy, easy target to be able to take down. It's the Rubik, but the GPK, if he's silent long enough, maybe they can actually kill him. The Heavenly Grace, finally the silence wears out. A sleight of fist, jump over to the left side. 33 hitting with the Ghost Scepter, but lightning procs are hitting him. He's sitting and hiding because
maybe he doesn't have his
Nico
ultimate.
Baby right now. Sleight of fist, and finally he does go down. Nico Baby to fall as well. Gyrocopter not going to be bashed up just yet. Another false promise from Fada. That's going to be able to save Limp, who does not have buyback here. But Hanskin, he may not have buyback as well. He gets away with the Shadow Blade. They didn't see him.
He goes to the left, barely has anything up.
He hides
no
away.
Buyback. Alk immediately used his. And with the buyback from the Omni Knight, puts them in such a good position. They're going to wait out the bounty runes.
But what do you do here as Gambit? Because you can't really force the fight. You're going to assume that 33 has his buyback. You don't have Chronosphere for 60 seconds. That's long enough for the Oracle to be back up with a little bit of time. I don't think Gambit can do anything for this.
And Alliance, once again, getting a little bit too over-aggressive.
Yes.
Just a little bit too much.
But if they win the next fight like that, there won't be buybacks this time around to turn things for Gambit.
And they still have it on the Void, and it's going to come up in a minute for the Ember Spirit.
That's true. Actually, the Ember Spirit is the scariest one, right? Because of all that mobility from the INTERCEPTOR.
Actually, Alliance that are in the much worse position without the buyback now for Nico Baby.
They will have a buyback
Fada.
coming in for Limp.
Yeah, but Fada's buyback matters so much.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to just come back into the fights, buy out, have his ulti available at all times. He saved his course so many different times through that usage.
Yeah, especially with the much lower cooldown of False Promise. Once you get it to level 3, 45 seconds only.
10k gold lead. Gambit should poke right now. With the Chronosphere up and no save, if Dream was in position right now, this could be a kill. They're going to take the Shrine instead first. Limp's going to get poked out just a little bit. They've got to be careful about overextending.
It's going to be the Chronosphere. They don't have a save for him. He positioned himself for it because he does have a buyback. He's basically saying, go ahead, Chronosphere me. I'm going to have buyback. We're going to try and win the fight immediately afterwards.
Dream's got to be careful. If he gets way too out of position, he could just skewer him really far back without Gambit being able to make any sort of rebuttal. 80 seconds on Limp. They're trying to see if there's a position where they get a catch with his buyback.
Smoke up 33. He's going to go into the back line with a Dark Ascension while they start the initiation on a Dream. Now, Nico B being kited up. They're actually going to turn on to 33. Immediately, they use the Guardian Angel because 33, he wants to try and go for those supports, but can't quite finish him off. The Soulbind under 33, trying to stay away from his supports. Actually, Hanskins gets a little bit too close. He was trying to go for an RP, but now he can't blink forward. So on the left-hand side, they're going to try and chase down Dream. Dream forced to fight during his time walk while it's on cooldown, but as it comes up, he jumps away. But the missile's still chasing him, and he's running low on mana. He's only got 100 mana to work with. That's 2 time walks away. The stable concoction. Can't get away from that one. Can't get away from the missile either. Another one's up in 3 seconds. Forced out. Trying to get him away from the sound. Slowed down by the Void. He gets nailed by the call down. That's going to slow him down. But the Lincolns and GPK actually jumping into Alliance to force him back. This time around, Alliance do not overextend themselves.
Look at their base though. Gambit. They got their Void out. GPK just creating this impenetrable wall. The buyback was used by Limp. He had to at that point.
Yeah.
Gambit was daring him, but the fact that they got out with all 5 heroes was
massive, right? They forced out a buyback from Limp. They still have their buybacks, and in time, they can play
and
for
a Roshan is up now.
Yep.
They've got buybacks on 2 of their cores, 1 of their supports. Their buyback situation is just looking so much better.
It's so tough to be able to beat this Void when he has the Refresher Shard.
And the Aghanims. That's going to be a big difference too in these fights.
Oh yeah.
They have to usually play around these timings, but
in Alliance, it almost feels like they they should try and contest Roshan, but I'm not sure if they can. But
no, that would be the game at that point. I think you just have to hold for the high ground and hope for the best. You have to trust Fada to not get caught in this fight.
Well, they will have 2. Oh, they're going to try and push out, but it's a little bit too late in GPK. He just went in a big old triangle, making sure that nobody of Alliance could get close with the smoke.
I love the way that GPK is playing, by the way.
Yeah.
He's constantly scouting with his ult. You saw at that bottom engagement when he got the Lincolns off for his Void to save him in the first place. Gonna go for the smoke.
Between the Lincolns and the Heaven, the Grace, it's so hard to lock down Dream.
And Fada, his position matters so much. He doesn't have a
position, but Fada, if he's already dead, and he gets executed just like that. He was trying to collect with his team who's playing on the high ground. They saw a double damage. They thought this is a great opportunity. Limp's gonna come in, and he is actually gonna complete that TP, which is by himself. He activates the BKB. He does get the Satanic off, so he's not gonna take any damage. What a beautiful bait from Limp with that TD. That allows the backline to be got out with the RP on the 2. The double telekinesis, though, that's gonna help out. Double Hex, the DD, though, the double side. Nico, baby, he's about to fall with 33. Now Limp gets blown up as well, and Alliance lose 4. No buybacks available. Hanskins left alone, and that's it. Gambit pushed it to an hour, but they finish off Alliance in style going into game 3.
How did Gambit win this game? I don't understand the dives from Alliance. The one in the base, they're going to be thinking about that for such a long time.
They are Alliance. They had the composure to come back at DreamHack. Down 0-2 against Demon Slayers, but here at ESL 1 Hamburg on game 3 against Gambit, they lose their composure and they just overextend a bit too much, and Gambit take full advantage of those mistakes.
It was a 3-on-5. They had everything up. The only way they can lose that fight is if they do what they did. Short of diving the fountain, they gave GPK such a good opportunity to take that fight, and all of a sudden everything turned around. They had to use the buybacks. They weren't able to find anybody in that bottom engagement when Limp was forced to use his buyback. And in the fatal stroke, Fada gets caught out, doesn't have his. Limp TPs into the Chronosphere.
Both these teams pushed to the bitter end of a game 3. Both of them have proven that they are very strong contenders for this upcoming DPC season, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to say goodbye to Alliance. It's Gambit who are gonna be moving on. They're gonna get their 3rd chance against TNC in the grand finals.
They come in 3s, they say, and Gambit are going to get that chance exactly. They lost 2-0 in the group stages, 2-0 in the upper bracket final to TNC, but they will get a crack at them again in the best of 5 grand final. Congratulations to Gambit. Commiserations to the green of Alliance. It turns out that one of us had the right colours on the panel. BSJ alongside Nahaz. Congrats, Brian. You've won that battle. We seem to have somehow dressed in Alliance and Gambit colours today, but you've won out.
Yeah, you know, I had faith in them before the series, and then I saw the drafts, and I feel bad for losing faith in them almost. This is the most, honestly, alpha move I think I've ever seen by a team.
Same
to just
5?
pick the exact same 5 heroes, and the other team's adjusted too. It's not like you're just picking it because they're picking the same thing too. I mean, run it back. That was, I mean, yeah, Alliance kind of had the game in their hands.
I was going to say, there were opportunities, Alan, weren't there, in this game? It wasn't like the last one where it was just a blowout after 15 minutes. It was kind of like treading water. There were proper opportunities for Alliance to win this.
Absolutely. I think we're going to see, hopefully we're going to see an analysis of one of those base dives in a few minutes, but look, it's October, okay? This Alliance team played marvelously to get this far. They're going to look at this replay and they're going to wish they had this one back.
Yep.
But that is what's going to happen with these new rosters still gelling together. You give Gambit all the credit in the world, though. These are two of the finest back-to-back Ember Spirit performances that we've seen on LAN in a very long time.
Yep, very difficult, and again, he stepped up, the main man. We've been talking about this new kid all the time. He's the new No One, he's the new Samao. Call him whatever you want. He's actually doing really well on his first LAN.
They played these fights in general so well into the late game. GPK was awesome, but the level 25 backtrack talent on the Void, Omni throwing out Heavenly Grace every 6 seconds, it just made it so difficult for Alliance to isolate these high-value targets in the late game fights. And that's partly where these dives come from when you're having so much trouble converting those kills.
Yeah, heroes like Omni Knight just leave you chasing after heroes at 300 health. Normal situations where they would not live because they don't have that 50% status resistance, didn't get that extra purification heal. And it's easier said than done to just say, don't chase them, you know? Like, they're so close. If you kill them, you win the game. So much on the line. I give more props to Gambit than I do to, you know, fault of Alliance for what happened in that game.
It's a very competitive scene, we know that. Never more so than at the start of the season when there's maybe a few of the old guard missing. But Alliance's performance over these first 2 weekends of big tournaments, in terms of winning Dream League last week, finishing in the top 3, that's great. That's a great start to the year.
Yeah, you actually